flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I ask everyone to turn off their electronic interrupting devices. For the record, I'd announce that we have a quorum, and Mr. Santos called me and indicated that he's unable to attend for reasons of personal illness and emergency, and would like to participate remotely under Chapter 30A, Section 25, Attorney General Regulations 940. Can you hear me all right down there? Okay. So with that being said, we need to indicate who's speaking before we speak, so Ruby knows, and we'll ask that, and all votes are required to be by roll call vote. So with that, I'll ask for, well, there's a roll call of those present. Donna Bronk, Jane Donahue, Bill Lockwood, Bob Powelatis, Rudy Santos remote on the phone, Jackie Hickey, administrator, and Barbara, here we go again, Scribbler. Thank you.
You got that right.
Yeah, all right. First order of business would be to approve the minutes of the August 20th, 2014 meeting.
Move to accept.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Discussion. I have a couple of, what should I call it, editorial changes or edits. On number 3, under old business, memorandum of understanding should be capital M, capital U. Sewer commissioners / selectmen should be select men, not select man.
Okay.
And I think where it says we were advised on August 22nd, we were on their agenda. Since the meeting was August 20th, I think our meetings, I think we were advised either on the 11th or the 18th that we were going to be on the selectmen's agenda August 12th or August 19th. You see those, that date? It can't work. So you have to select man. We were advised on August 22nd. We're saying that at a meeting of our meeting on the 20th. So we had already gone to the selectmen's meeting, so
Yeah, okay.
we were advised
All
by
right.
them when they called you, either,
Okay.
it must have been August 11th or August 18th, that we're gonna be on their
It was the
agenda.
Friday before we went.
Okay, so you can
Okay.
change those dates
All right.
if you would. And then down on the, 5-6 lines after that, it says seconded by Ms. Donahue, who should insert to execute the MOU.
Okay.
That's all I got a bunch of changes on your administrator's report. On the A wait list, we say we both agree to wait until the quote, are you still interested?
Wait a minute. Which number?
On your, on the
Oh.
A,
Mm-hmm.
how's that supposed to read? We both agree.
I'm sorry, DHCD
Right, and then it says we both agree to wait until
and
the quote.
myself agreed to wait until the are you still interested letters,
See, that's
and
what's,
you will be removed. Those are two separate letters.
okay,
Okay, so are you still interested is one letter. You will be removed from the wait list as a second letter. So I have to do those,
just put the quotes after.
Okay.
Wait list, and then say letters come out. Then under B, second line, watch all is capital A. That's the company, right? You're
Yep,
not looking at
yep.
everybody? that
Yeah.
watches. All right, and then the next sentence, it says this AM, it's AM as time, like PM?
Yeah, AM, yeah.
Okay, and then hit the corner of the building too?
Yeah.
Okay. Then under vacant units, 2 are waived offline. What does that mean?
2 units are waived offline, so they're not counted as empty units. They're waived offline.
So, okay.
Okay, and then
Does that mean, so how many do we have? Do we have waived outline, waived offline are not considered? Is that?
Correct.
So you have 4 altogether.
So we're gonna put them on, we're putting them back online very soon.
How do you get them all, why do they waived offline? I don't understand.
They were in such poor, very poor, and poor conditions.
So who waives them? That's, I
That's
think
my
that's
question.
Donna's
They were
question.
waived
Yeah, thank
before
you.
I got here, so.
So they've been waived for a whole year?
Yep, for a whole year.
And that's done within consultation with DHCD?
The DHCD gives us the waiver,
Oh.
yep, yep.
For a whole year, these units have been vacant?
Then they gave us the money to fix it, we fixed them, we're waiting for the floor to be done, and then we're gonna have them.
Okay,
So
then,
is that normal for
Not at all.
those people?
No, none of this is normal. I wouldn't consider any of this normal.
all
Period.
right. Are you still with us, Rudy? Hang on. Okay, vacant units, I'm sorry, but it says two. FY14 budget, we need to certify the board saw, or should that say reviewed and approved?
Wait a minute, we need to certify the
Well,
board.
we didn't sign anything, right?
No,
But it's not saw.
no. I don't even remember what it was supposed to be. We
Certify-
need to certify
how about
the board
certify
balance
that,
sheet and
the-
operating,
That the
yeah.
board's
Yeah. We need to,
reviewed,
we need to,
We need to certify the FY14 budget, no?
right.
balance sheet, yeah,
Mm.
and operating statements.
Okay, certified. Okay, Mr. Joy, $26,000. Remaining balance, I think, what does that mean? That means in the operating reserve, or we had net?
That's why we could put the money in the operating reserve, because that's the remaining balance at the end of the year.
So that means our net income.
Correct.
Okay, so we should say net income. We had,
Well,
we
it's,
had net income of
they call it,
Backup reserves, isn't it?
they call it remaining net income balance, and then net income balance,
I think just net income, at the bottom line, at the bottom line, at the bottom line, it says
back up to
net income.
our reserves.
So then the balance will be applied to our operating reserve, that's how it, this balance
Will be applied to our backup reserves.
to our
right,
operating reserve.
To our operating
Yeah,
reserves.
those are the technical terms.
Yeah.
So it's $26,000 net income, which will go to the operating reserve, which when added to the old reserve, gives you a new balance. Okay, now, then the next line, subsidies in received our November 2013 water, right? Not out, F subsidies?
We should receive our final FY14 subsidy payment shortly, around $3,500. Received the first payment, $7,000 on the Stoop project. Received our
Our,
November 2013 water issue repayment.
is that?
Yeah, our,
Not
yeah.
our, okay. Water payment, not issue, what,
Water,
What
our
is it?
water repayment from the water line breakage.
from the DHCD?
Yes, we get that money reimbursed
Oh,
back from our
okay.
from our formula funding
All
to
right,
fix
so,
the broken water
and
line.
received funding from DHCD to reimburse us for the water.
For the broken water line.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so just change that. Then, recertification, field recertification, blah, 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 okay. Then at the end, tenants, return the PO boxes to each building, should be.
No, the PO boxes are,
Mailboxes.
yeah, they go back to the town's post office. They don't have anything, we don't control those post office.
Right,
So, we're,
but it's a mailbox.
I don't know,
At the very end, tenants,
oh, they put together a petition to have the post office, the Wareham post office, return the PO boxes to each building. They used to have outside
Right.
PO boxes,
Right.
yes,
But to place a mailbox outside
correct.
each unit, so it's not a PO box.
Okay, mailbox,
Mailbox.
okay.
Okay. Okay. So now motion made with seconded with those changes.
Is it the 820 that you're looking to
That was all
approve?
H1.
Oh, 820, okay. Just wanted to be clear.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will fill off with,
Aye,
are we roll
Bob.
calling?
Yeah, roll call, all votes. I, Bob Howell,
Aye, Jane Donahue.
Aye, Donna Bronk.
You don't have to roll call
Yeah.
every vote, only when you're in
Yes, you do.
executive session,
No,
No, because he's on the,
because he's on the
because he's
speaker.
remote. All votes have to be in roll call. So,
Okay,
You
I'd like to see the remote rules, so I'll know what I'm doing.
if you'd like, I'll
Thanks.
take a moment and read the remote rules. Quorum must be quite present in order to allow somebody to participate remotely. Item 3, all votes taken during a meeting in which a member participates remotely must be by roll call vote.
Okay, thank you for the clarification, Bob. We just haven't done remote before, so it would be
I know.
helpful as chair if you explained these things to us ahead of
I
time.
thought I did. Didn't
No.
I say that we have to
you
vote for
you
remotely?
did say that earlier.
I did,
Did you say that?
yep.
My apologies. I hadn't-
Again, it's the
Because,
story of my
believe me,
life.
I'm not
Nobody
astute
pays
enough
attention
to figure
Bob.
that out on my own.
Okay, I'll take your word for it
Nobody
then,
pays
Bill.
attention to Bob. Story of my life. Okay, next.
I think it's your tone, you know, the monotone.
think
That's
it
what
is?
it is. I think it's
I
just,
think
It's
you
a
talk
drug.
very
Bob
softly.
said- Bob
It's
says it
probably
speaks
just
It's
too
a
community.
subtle trick.
I'm not sure when you're talking to me and when you're not.
I'm talking to I was
Yeah.
speaking
Okay, great,
to the
thanks.
audience.
okay.
Okay,
All right.
so we did the minutes, now we go to the motion to authorize the signing of checks and documents that have adequate supporting documentation and appropriate approval by the administrator. Did you bring them with you?
Yes.
Good.
It's,
I'd just like to ask a question,
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman. I'm not here on Wednesdays, and I know that we talked before about people coming in to sign them on Wednesdays. Everybody's been doing that. I just appreciate saying thank you to everybody for doing that.
yeah,
Okay.
Get the warrant signed ahead of time. Thank you.
yeah. We have 3 people.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Thank you.
we sign the warrants and then the checks need at least 2 signatures. I
Great.
thank you all also, so that people get paid. Okay, so, do we have a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Motion by Mr. Lockwood, second by Ms. Donahue. All in favor? Aye, Bob Powell-Davis.
I don't like it.
Rudy
Hi,
Santos.
Jane Donahue.
Aye, Donna Bronk.
500. Thank you. Sewer update. Administrator's report has something on it, but I think, did you bring copies of that
I
document?
forgot to put the sewer
Forgot to bring it up.
Yeah. I got this, you can see yesterday at 5 o'clock, last night at 5 o'clock,
From
so.
the, Mr. Campina. Came last night or this morning, depending on what time he got to work or left work. Rudy, you don't have one, obviously, because I don't think you picked your package up before this came in. You do? No. Okay, basically, it's a document from Guy to Jackie. I think it says Ray evaluation. Here is our first report. Please let me know if you meet your needs. You would like, what would you like to add, etc. So basically, it's a 5-page document. He did a review at Redwood Pump Station, and he goes on significantly talking about what he found, issues with the generator, the new battery with a new charger, control units. I think he did replace a failed compressor or with a temporary one, and he's dealing with wet wells and missing items, etc. But I quickly looked at it. Low air alarm. If you want, we can keep looking at this. And I didn't see anything. Did you have a chance to talk with Mr. Campina?
Basically, what he told me, the long and short of it, he was really impressed with how even our equipment, most of it is back from 1973, except for the compressor, everything was still running. Although, you know, very concerned about the lifetime of it. So he, on the back of page 2, he put in the hours, so they've worked 9 hours on it. And they came to all these conclusions, and some of it I just don't, they have inspected some of our manholes and some of the things that they did get a copy of our site plans, to see where things are hooked up. He did tell me about the compressor and the pump, so they did put in a temporary compressor that they had to see how the other equipment works with the compressor that's working, because although it was working correctly. So basically that, it just says, in conclusion, although station and all systems contained therein circa 1973, they all seem to still be functioning at this time. Flow in general seems to be low, so system should meet the need for a longer period without replacing things right away. So that's on the bottom of page 2.
Yes.
Okay.
You mean bottom of page 3?
I'm sorry,
3.
yes, 3. Well,
Three.
yes.
Okay.
Top, where it says 2 on
Yeah.
top, but it's page 3.
Oh, okay.
It's the way they,
I don't understand it either.
it's the way they
Don't
copy them,
sign
I
a
think.
copy.
Okay,
It's the
all
way
right.
they fit it into the copy. So didn't he say he was gonna arrange to hook, connect with his station somewhere?
Yeah.
It's all right. Anyway, this is information, we can bring it up later at a subsequent meeting when we had more time to review it and see if there's any further comments by him, or any further work by him. Okay, so,
Well, I would assume that, Mr. Chair, that he'll be giving us some sort of a cost estimate for the things that,
Right.
I've asked a couple times for this.
or bolt down covers are missing, should be replaced.
Right now, yeah. He hasn't done any other work. The only work they've done is the 9
It's
hours.
the evaluation
Yeah,
and
so.
replace the compressor. And they probably present you with a bill for this, for the 9 hours and the
Yes,
compressor?
I've requested it for last,
You still haven't gotten a bill yet? No.
I've not got a bill, and I want a detailed description of what these things, but I think he's
Sure.
gathering money to find out how much some of the equipment would cost to replace, so he's waiting for
Oh,
money.
he's going 100 different directions right now.
He is,
He
so.
really is.
So I appreciate that actually I feel much better that even though some of the stuff's 1973, it's still
Yeah.
functioning properly.
But it just leaves room for a huge disaster, because we know
It does.
73 is going to.
Absolutely.
Do we have any spare parts like bearings and things like that? Like to do a PM? Do you have a PM program for it? No.
We had no PMs for anything.
No
We're beginning.
Okay.
That's why I
Starting
pursued
from
him.
scratch.
I asked him, I didn't know what the agreement could be, even though reading, 121B, and so we're here now and we're gonna do something. We're doing it. We're beginning a PM.
Bill?
The generator, the new generators we just put in, are they able to handle this load?
Good question.
I thought it was.
Handle all the
Yeah.
only this building.
Oh, this generator, I mean, I think the system has its own generator.
Well,
I mean,
I know that
right.
it does, but
Right.
this building did not, and I'm wondering the generator that we put in, whether that would be capable of handling the sewage as
I
well.
have no idea.
Okay,
I don't have the answer for that.
You can
I can
Ask
research
him.
that. Yeah.
can we ask Guy whether it would
ask
do
him
it?
for
It's
his,
probably, I don't know how many horsepower, maybe too many, I don't know.
Good point. Good point.
And I don't know what the size of that generator is that they have in there now either, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got the numbers right here. but-
Maybe too far away too.
Yeah.
Jackie, are you going to have your maintenance staff do a inventory of your generators and your? Do you have an inventory?
I mean, I've begun, we had a somewhat inventory, I'm not confident that it has everything, but we are now going to have, we're working towards a more comprehensive inventory, yes. So we know what equipment, and then this leads to, I mean, and I haven't shared this with everybody, Donna Braun gave me some nice documents, I mean, she has mentioned this before, and one of them was a really good reporting mechanism to the board, to the management, that's what they used it for, but I've adapted it, I'm continually adapting it, I'm not quite done yet, but one of the things they really did on that is talk about contracts,
Exactly.
and equipment, and that's, you know, we are working on that. You know, I wanna get everything that we do have as contracts, which is not a lot, and then what type of equipment we have, and what type of maintenance that is needed by the equipment. So, that's where we're at.
Do you have like manholes here that you
Yes.
have to, now, do you have to clean them out?
Um,
How often do you, what's your PM?
well, they are going to,
Assume all that.
with that, they,
Who was they?
I'm sorry, the
Sewer
wastewater.
So
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because it's
They're gonna take
connected.
over that whole,
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
that
you-
operation.
Well, you can clean it, well, really, okay. No, nothing. Okay. Jeez, I used to clean my own.
I believe that.
Whole lot of money, saved a whole lot of money.
I bet. I mean,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
I mean, yes. When you look down the manholes, there are things that need to be replaced, like if you can see when you do, I mean, if you skim this.
No,
You
I
see the
understand.
bolts that are not
Okay.
strong enough, and
There's quite a few recommendations on that page too, but it says like things we need to get clarified. Pump runs for 1+2, pump fails for 1+2. You know, install mission monitoring system, that's the things that need to be done. But some of the stuff is foreign to me. Transfer switch needs to be replaced, so he's going to take charge of all of those functions. Hello, Rudy, did you say something?
I want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
If I may.
Yes.
How many sewer pumps do they have in their line? Do they have any?
oh, we just have the one sewer pump.
There's one pump for the whole Redwood complex. Although it says pumps
Two
are
pumps.
3/8
Yeah,
pH
yeah.
Allis-Chalmers.
Oh, I would think-
Both pumps
yeah,
are working,
Has to be more than one.
both
got-
pump one
it's a
seems to
redundant
be
system.
ready.
Gotcha.
One at a time works,
Oh, okay.
I would think.
Go
That's
ahead, Bill,
that's
let's say
typical.
that.
We
think there's
seem to be two
Two
pumps.
pumps, you're right.
That usually that's set up as a redundant system where only one is doing the work, the other one is in reserve. And they may alternate on some sort of schedule.
All right. And how many linear foot are they going to be taking care of with the projects? I mean, with the Redwood and Agawam?
He told me that he inspects all of them. Oh, Agawam does not have a pump. When they finished the phase 2, I'm not quite sure what sewer contract that did Oakdale, they created a gravity feed system for Agawam. They removed the pump system that was here and they put in a gravity feed. So we don't, but the sewer department is inspecting the manholes. We have one, the one manhole down at the bottom of the street that connects to the sewer. He said he would inspect that one for us,
All right.
but he hasn't given me any information of that yet.
All right. Just be very careful of that, because that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Big expense. If they're going to do it.
Okay,
I know, thank you.
okay. All right, so that's the status of that. You'll follow up with him, Jackie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
New business. I don't really have anything to report except I'd like to wish Happy New Year to all our Jewish friends. We're celebrating Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur that are coming up. So with that, I'll skip into the other committee reports. Now, I don't know if any committees have met. I haven't been able to. So if we can't meet as committees because of inconvenience or whatever, I think somehow or another, either on an individual, people on those committees can come up individually, just make an appointment with Jackie. If it can't work, I'll make appointments and I'll come up and do some budget work and internal control, internal review work. If it's a matter of us coming up with a protocol or a program to do, I can develop that and people can come in and meet with Jackie on a periodic basis so that we're able to fulfill our duties and responsibilities and oversee and monitor this place properly. So,
Mr. Chairman,
yeah.
I would think that our committees, we should have to meet as a committee.
Right,
Whoever, like, you and I are on one committee
Right,
and
right.
myself and Bill are, we
Right.
need to meet and we need to post that we're gonna meet, say we meet down here or whatever, and just sit and talk,
Yeah.
go over it. I think legally, we have to post it. We don't have to post the committee meeting?
It's one of those gray areas. You can post it, but then some of them, this matter you would be discussing, once you post it and other members show up, now it's an open public meeting. And if
Yeah.
you're gonna be discussing or looking at tenant, like for instance, we need to determine that, from my point of view, that the rents are determined properly, that the people going in are properly coming off the wait list. Some of that matter is private, confidential, not public. So you post a meeting, then you go into executive session, and that only can be done, from my point of view, in the office with Jackie. It's not something you can drag the records out of the office and come to a hall to work on. So if it's one of those things, we're reviewing and determining her performance or her evaluating the operation of the authority. We're not making decisions, we're not deliberating, so
Well,
it's one of those things. But if you do it, if you try to do it like you're suggesting, posting meetings and publicly allowing tenants and other people to come in, it circumvents or
see, in my opinion, that doesn't, you're certainly not gonna discuss private matters regarding individuals
of course
being
not,
recertified.
but you're gonna be looking at their files, and
So
you're gonna look
we-
at their rent determination, which will include medical information and what's eligible
So
or
we're gonna be looking at it, okay.
Right.
So what's the point? Why do you have to,
So if you do
say
it in a
this-
public setting, it's open to the public.
No, it's not.
And then you have to then say it's not public, so we're gonna go into executive session. So you're in one
Can't
of
go
these.
into executive session to discuss people's rent.
No, you
That's
can't.
not one of the 10 reasons.
Yeah, but it's confidential information by virtue of its
Right,
own
we're not, oh,
statute.
we, the board, the
Right.
authority, my understanding is that we, the authority, are not supposed to be involved in
No,
the
well,
setting of
that's
people's rent.
not true.
No, you're not involved in the setting of
Right
rent,
from
but
the
you're,
start.
right.
Let me just explain, that is a mistaken notion you have, because it's this kind of stuff that DHCD or the training courses say, the board has responsibility to govern, manage, and to control. The new statute says you also have a fiduciary responsibility, and then you step back and say, but you can't know anything. From my perspective, and from the way it really works, is we have an obligation to ensure that things are done properly. And the only way I can ensure that things are done properly is not to just rely on her monthly report, is to go in and review and verify. Sample 10 files
Audit
and
files.
look at it.
Audit the files.
Yeah, audit the files. That's not a public meeting enterprise. So if it's gonna come down to that, I just
On
assume
that
say,
particular subject, Bob, I agree
Okay,
with
I
you.
all
agree with
right.
100%.
So somebody, two members of the subcommittee go and look at the files and ensure that the rents are being set properly, and then come back and report
And
to the
report-
rest
that's
of
the
the
pro-
board.
that's the
But
whole
that's
thing.
only one very narrow area that all
Right.
these subcommittees are
Right.
talking about.
Right.
And in my opinion, and the opinions that I've seen rendered by the Attorney General's office, that you cannot use subcommittee meetings to circumvent the open meeting law.
right,
And so, whatever you're putting, whatever
It's
we're
not the-
putting,
it's not the
I understand
intent.
it's not our intent, but you
Right.
don't want the perception of the intent
Exactly.
either. So if you're talking about a very narrow subject matter,
Right.
that is in fact the responsibility
Right.
of the board to oversee the executive director in the setting of the rents, and we don't want to discuss that, other than to say
Yeah.
at a board meeting, yes, in fact, the rents have been certified properly, and the rates have been charged properly because this
I
subcommittee looked at that.
I looked at
That's
10 of them
one thing.
and, yeah, exactly.
But it's another thing to say that other subcommittee meetings should not be
Right.
posted and the discussions should not be open, because
Right.
there are a lot of things that are not, that
Right.
don't fall into that bailiwick.
I hear what you're saying, but in order to avoid the argument that goes on about, is it a deliberation, isn't it, are we meeting, are we circumventing, we are evaluating and ensuring that things are done right. If you want to do it individually, and then we have liaisons and one member representatives, that is a budget person, an internal control, or infrastructure, or human relations, or tenant relations, and rent determinations of cash management, those things fall under cash management and finance and what have you. So to avoid that, then we'll just make one member representative, go up there and meet with her, and then come back and report to the board, like the selectmen do. They have a member that goes to other places.
Well, that may be the solution, Bob, I think, because there's many things
Yeah.
that we should be discussing as a
Exactly.
group
Exactly.
together
And I'm-
all the time,
and-
as
and-
opposed to having
and
little
I agree with you.
subcommittees, and it takes up a lot of Jackie's time to even think about having all these subcommittees
Well,
having to.
you wouldn't spend the day.
Well,
up there.
nobody's even had the opportunity to coordinate.
Right, but I
mean,
agree with
How
you,
many
so,
subcommittees do we have? 5? Has any met? Have we?
no.
The
no.
one on September 10th was
We
canceled?
used to meet like with infrastructure and human resources, but it was the one that we had like a 3-member board. And Bill would take the lead with Jackie, and I'd come sometimes on a lot of, all that capital.
That would have been a
all that-
posted meeting, I hope.
No, they weren't, those were all capital
3
issues.
members with
No, no,
quorum,
no,
with
no,
a
no.
quorum of the board? You-
No, there was no 3 members. It was
That's what
never
you
3
just
members.
said.
I said those are the people who would come, not, there was never more than 2 there.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
Anyway.
I thought you said there were 3 members would be there and,
No, there was, I meant,
Well,
Jackie was always present because it had to do with meeting with the architects or whatever. And Bill was there, and then I dropped in on a couple of those meetings.
Yeah.
But anyway,
You know,
it's-
for instance, a meeting with the architects on a building is not subject for, on
no,
any project.
absolutely not.
Even though you may have more than,
Right, but if
One
you have
board
more than 3 board members, as long as you have a quorum, that's when it has
Well,
to be
true.
posted,
That's
Bill.
true.
That's what I'm trying to
No,
distinguish.
right, and I
or that's
built
when
this-
someone leaves the room. Yeah, so that you can continue working, right?
there's no dispute about that.
that's
I'm
not
talking-
being very transparent.
Well,
No.
then
But the whole issue is, it's not about transparency. This is stuff that's never been done. It's recommended, it should be done, and that's why authorities fail. Because of all this Massachusetts complexity about the wide open meeting law that worries about all of that stuff when there's no deliberation and there's no circumvention. The intent is to learn, understand, and do your job, so that then you can, those subcommittees come back and give a detailed report as to what they did, and they were satisfied on a test basis that we saw her budget was prepared properly, her finances, the accounts were properly posted, anything that we look at from those different committees that you have listed in the minutes.
I know what you're talking about.
Infrastructure, capital planning. I agree that those aren't private confidential issues. Internal audit compliance would cover that because you'd be looking at tenants files, rent
Exactly.
determination. Human resources may or may not, depending on the, if you're talking about people or whatever it might be. Resident
Because you do
relations.
sign, you will sign this document that says, under pains and penalties of perjury, that the facts and information here are true and correct,
To the best of your
to the
knowledge.
best of your knowledge.
Yeah, but if you deliberately, I mean, here we are trying to be transparent, but if the board steps back and doesn't know anything, and then they're gonna say, I'm signing it, but I didn't know because I never attended, I never tried to find out anything. That's why authorities, boards, directors do what they do, and boards get criticized for not paying attention.
Okay, who's on the internal audit committee? I'm curious.
Okay,
Just,
let's-
I don't have that sheet with me. I know I have it,
The
and I've seen
minutes,
it.
the minutes from last week,
Oh,
first,
okay.
it says, infrastructure capital planning was, Bronco Lockwood, internal audit compliance was Bronco Power Leaders, human resources was Santos. and
I got it. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I get it, thank you.
All right, so that's, I'm just saying, we can go on and not get anything done and keep talking about it. I'm
Well,
trying,
and that's part of my concern,
I'm
is that
concerned
none of the
about-
subcommittees have had the opportunity to
Right.
meet. And so we haven't done any of this, and maybe we just need to do it at our meetings as a group,
We
to the
can,
extent that we can. And maybe part of that is, if we meet twice a month instead of once a month, we can carve things out and go over those things, in smaller chunks, as opposed to having a 3-hour meeting, having so much to do, having long periods of time between our meetings, and things happening in between our meetings that we don't know about.
I'll just tell you from experience, that doesn't work. For me to go up and sit with her and prepare a budget for next year, as opposed to the common way it's done, the fee accountant prepares a budget, as we saw last time, tells us what's in there based on last year's and go up a few % here and there, and there's no way, shape, or manner that it reflects what we think our maintenance needs are, what our extraordinary maintenance needs are in terms of replacing windows, refrigerators. None of that stuff gets done, and then it all gets swept in during the course of the year is unforeseen, we're looking for money. You just can't do it at a meeting. You gotta sit with her, go through the books, go through the accounts and see what was charged and see if that's gonna be the same next year and what more. Talking with her, what's gonna be needed for this year we're in now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And if
So you have
think
a
can-
budget, you have a budget on your agenda.
Yeah, but you gotta have all the
that's budget.
subsidiary information. We got a budget presented by this guy again this week, but it's a one pager. The detail isn't there. This isn't a multi-million-dollar operation. This is a $500,000.
Right, that's
But
what I'm saying. You can
I'm
do
just
it
saying,
in
I
a
still,
meeting.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Jackie could say, okay, I sat with Tom Joy, this is what he prepared, these are the things that I think that we need to up or change or whatever, and then we as a board take action. I don't understand why it has to be a one-on-one meeting in an
It's not
office with somebody
one-on-one.
else.
The key point you missed was, she met with the SPHE accountant, he said this, and she comes and says this. I wanna see more. Maybe it's my nature, I wanna see more, because in the cases where I haven't seen more, in all of my history where more wasn't seen, there were significant issues with directors, board members, collusion, and other stuff going on where authorities went south, members were removed, directors were displaced, etc. And the bottom line reason for all of that was failure to govern.
Well,
governance.
I said, I agree with you, Bob. I think that we should see more, and I don't understand why a package can't be presented with the backup documentation that's attached to it. I mean, Donna and I both were on the finance committee for years. That's, you
Right.
know, it's not, people don't sit down with every single department head and look at every little thing. People come forward and say, now, we have a department head, and they do come forward, the department heads
why
come
it's-
forward and do all this stuff, but we have one department head.
That's why towns are in the trouble they're in, because finance committees can't do the work. They sit and listen, and they're presented with information, and they accept what they're given.
I'm
It's
really
hard-
gonna take
hard to do the
exception to
detail.
that. I
Yeah,
really am
me
gonna take
too.
exception to that. I
Fine.
really am, Bob. You know what, I know what, I don't wanna discuss this anymore.
It's just,
Okay.
it's just
I just-
one budget,
I
and
think
it's
we- I
just
just
don't
one
wanna-
place, and I think that we could do it as a group, and that this piece of paper isn't adequate, then
Right.
are you gonna tell
It's
us, I mean, the Budget Infrastructure Committee, okay, I'm on this committee. When are we gonna meet, Finance and Budget, and when are we gonna come back and say that this is a good budget, and Jackie, what are you gonna tell us about it that we should know, that's better than what we have right now in front of us? I mean, all rhetorical questions, I don't expect you
No,
to
I
answer it
know.
off the top of my head, but that's
I think it
that's
would
the bottom
help.
line.
I mean, I understand in a town, we have many departments and many employees, but I think it would help me actually to see you periodically, because sometimes when I can present the numbers, but you may be looking at it as a board member and may need, we're sitting there with all of the documentation that I could provide, backup and other things like that, to give you that information, and then you say, okay, you go home and think about it, you come back with this great idea. Do you know what I mean? I mean, and I don't know. I mean, I just,
I don't know either. I just know that we have this piece of paper.
I understand
That
what you're saying.
the gentleman came and explained it to us. We know what things are included in these line items, and there's a backup page for each one of these line items that has a list of stuff on it. We should have those backup
Right.
pages to look at,
Yeah,
all
no,
of us,
we don't.
not just one person on the committee who's gonna say, oh yeah, I had this great idea, Jackie, now let's do it. I think we should all have that
Yeah.
information.
Again, when you were on finance committees, you got packages and you took it home, and you got more detail, you asked for more detail, went back and forth, you had a year to develop a budget. We're already into September, and we haven't worked on the FY15 budget.
Well, okay.
This is what I'm saying, we just keep,
Well,
I've seen it hundreds of times in my career. I've looked at every housing authority there is, from Boston to Springfield.
I'm trying to understand your style, Bob, and I respect you tremendously for the work that you've done, all of you, okay? Each and every one of you. We all bring something to the table,
Right.
okay? So I guess what I'm trying to understand, where you're coming from is in any place that I've ever been, okay?
Right.
Because you've been at the state level. I've worked for the private sector, okay? So I guess what I'm gonna wanna do is go in, because I have a lot of issues
Right,
that I don't feel are being
addressed.
Addressed. and I want them to be addressed on a monthly basis to everyone.
Right.
But I guess I'm hearing,
agree
I'm
with you.
hearing what you're saying, and I guess I'm gonna try it your way. I'm gonna go into the office, make an appointment, go into the office, this, and I'm gonna put you all on copy, each and every one of you, what I'm looking for.
Good.
Is that what you want?
That's perfect,
Okay.
and we can also submit to you suggestions of what we think you should look at, depending on the
Absolutely,
issue.
absolutely,
About whether it's a balance sheet, operating statement. or
absolutely,
Because
okay,
then you can come back
I'm
and
getting
say,
it.
I looked at all of this, and we're gonna then have confidence that you looked at it with Jackie, you saw documents. I'm
you know,
not gonna do it, you
I
get these
just,
superficial,
the thing
We're
is,
gonna have to do some things at night, Bob, that's
But-
all there
but
is
you
to it.
take it home with you, you can
No,
also do
I'm talking
that.
about meeting with you and Jackie
Oh,
in the evening.
absolutely. I
Yeah,
would not
I
have
have
any
trouble
trouble
with
with
it
that.
on the day.
the thing is,
Right,
I
absolutely.
I guess I'm just trying to understand the way that you guys are coming from, and I'm getting it now. It's been slow coming my way, but I'm starting to get it. I'll try it your way. I definitely, because
Let's try. Just see if it
maybe I won't
works.
be as frustrated as I am, because
Yeah.
I'm just so frustrated about
Right.
things. And I'm going to, you know, I want an opportunity. I don't see it on the thing. I want an opportunity to ask about certain things today,
Right.
but it's not on our agenda.
Right, and when I asked for things to be put on the agenda, they haven't been put on the agenda, so I just gave up on that, Bob, to be perfectly honest with you. There are things that I wanted on the agenda.
Well, we can
that
put
I've sent
stuff on
you
the agenda,
emails.
I'm just saying, we need the detail. When I went 45 years ago, when I started in this business, somebody once said to me, Bob, you gotta get below the numbers. It's not what's on the top sheet. You gotta get down inside the numbers to see what's really going on. And
All right, so
that
let's
is-
make an appointment right now to start the FY15 budget. You and I are on the Finance and Budget Committee. When are we gonna meet? And let's pick a date and do it. Not, I'm gonna be out of town, I'm gonna be here, I'm
Next
gonna be there.
week.
Let's do something.
Hold on.
Because
Pick a
that
date.
seems to
Pick
be,
a date
you
for
know, a
next week.
concern that we haven't done
Okay,
the
cool.
FY15 budget yet.
And we can talk, some of that's gonna come up,
Just so you know, Monday, oh, so you were looking for an evening, right, Jane? Is that what you're looking for?
Or late afternoon.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yep.
Give us a couple dates that you're available to me.
Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
All right.
Monday is a little bit tough.
Hey, Tuesday is the October,
Oh, we can town
Tuesday,
meetings
September
and stuff.
30th.
September
Yes.
30th.
Yeah, so you know what?
That's
I'm
good.
sorry.
No,
That
that's
was-
not town meeting.
Not town meeting, but
Oh.
we were.
No, selectmen's meeting.
Selectmen's
and
meeting.
On
they-
CPC
on
articles.
CPC articles.
So
We gotta go
Wednesday or
up there.
Thursday, either one of those days.
Okay, so the selectmen's meeting starts at 7.
And we have to be up there on the CPC article, or we have to convert our unit to dwelling unit,
Right.
the office.
That's
And
at
then I
7
think,
o'clock.
then the next day is, we gotta go to the finance committee on those articles, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
And the next
All
day is
right.
also the CPC meeting.
so then,
You have the CPC meeting on Wednesday night, so
will that
Thursday
be
night.
still dealing
how
with
about
those
the-
issues?
Probably.
So you're not available Monday evening? I mean, I'm
You
saying
know what?
evening,
I
I'm
can-
saying
I
like
can do Monday
4:30, I'm
evening.
like
Yeah.
saying 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, Monday will be fine. Monday's okay.
Monday
It
at
just has to be 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, right?
Because I have
And we'll
a
just
meeting at
put aside an hour
But
and
then
that'll
we
be
gotta
it.
go to the selectmen after that.
No, Monday,
not on
not,
Monday.
not Monday,
I'm sorry.
not Tuesday, Monday.
Tuesday,
What
so
day
you're
is it?
talking the
Monday's
29th.
the 29th.
September
All
29th.
right, it's okay. Let's check that.
Because, I mean, you know, if we're gonna do this, then let's do it, but I haven't, I guess maybe, you know, you're on the committee with me, so,
Yeah, okay, so let me.
subcommittee. And now the point that I'm going to make next is that, okay, so we're gonna meet. What if Bill wants to come, or what if Donna wants to come?
Well, see, then you
we're saying no.
violated the open meeting law because it wasn't posted.
Well, that's why I'm
So
saying,
that's
why
why I'm
not
saying-
just post it in case?
Because we're not gonna have
Because
it.
it's not the in cases that anybody in the world can come in,
Yeah,
and it's in her office.
yeah, who's gonna come? There's
I
nobody
don't-
here
I don't
today.
Well, it's
expect
not gonna be
anybody.
Thursday, because Thursday afternoons is bingo. And everyone is at bingo.
I don't
should-
expect
So
anybody,
you
but
should
you
do it
never
on
know.
Thursday
You have to-
afternoons.
I think we'll have our subcommittee meetings on Thursday afternoons.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
wait, is this September
Is
what,
there-
29th?
September 29th,
I
yeah.
mean, if we wind
What
up with
time?
an overflow of people, we could move to another location, couldn't we?
We can do all that
Does that
stuff,
have
but
to
I'm
be
just saying that
posted?
we're.
I just think that it's, you know, that
The
it
work
should
that
be
doesn't get
posted.
done because we're thinking about moving and what space we gotta be in instead of just doing the work. As I can say, I understand the open meeting law, but if you look at Sarbanes-Oxley and you look at Global Crossings, Tyco, Enron, every one of them, what did they say when it was over? Form subcommittees. this internal audit committee, or
They do.
hire a compliance auditor
Right.
for
They're all
$500,000 a year,
private
and even at
No, Westfield State
MIT.
College. They just did that to Westfield State
What?
College. They just told the Inspector General,
No,
Just-
let's,
okay.
wait, Rudy's on the line, okay, so we're gonna meet on the 29th at what time?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, and then we'll have to get out so we can go to the,
No,
okay, that's got
Monday's
nothing to
Monday.
do with the other meeting,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
This is budget stuff. Yeah, all right, so we got a general idea, and I'd be glad to work up like programs, like an audit program, what to do, what to look at, so we can
Well,
assure
that's
ourselves that she's.
Dawn's committee, that's not me.
That's me, and that's what that's what I think we need to,
You
we
and I.
need to come together with for a form that we're gonna be looking at.
So she knows what to get out, 10 files.
No, I just wanna see the files, yeah, I don't wanna know what files we're looking at.
No, it'll be.
We're gonna go
random-
in randomly and look at the
Randomly,
files.
yeah, that way we're in good shape,
I agree,
yeah, all right,
I'm ready.
let's go, all right, so.
Set a date.
Set a date,
time.
yeah.
That's the problem. Nobody's setting a date, nobody's setting a
All right,
time.
so-
Any day but Tuesday, I can go during the day, I can go through during the night, I can do any time.
All right, so then I'll call you, I
You
don't
give
have
me a
my
call,
calendar.
give me a call,
What's that, internal audit?
yes,
What are the posting requirements? How long?
3 days in advance.
48 hours.
Or was it 48 hours? I'm sorry,
hours.
48.
48 hours.
Yeah.
Is it possible to post multiple meetings?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then,
Sure.
and then-
For instance, every third Thursday afternoon
Tentative.
during bingo, around the
Tentative
corner,
meetings. We
something
can
like
look at-
that.
We can look up a posting schedule, and then if we don't meet, we don't meet.
Yeah,
I don't know what the rules are in terms of
Just cancel
canceling.
it.
You just cancel it, that's all, but as long as it's posted, it's
Posted,
covered.
you're covered.
yeah.
Trust
The last
me, I
thing we want is people to be
I've
saying,
had 2
"I wanna
violations,
come
I
to
don't wanna
that."
deal with any more of those violations.
I don't want to even start, so.
I mean,
Okay,
it's
so
just, it's,
I'll call you.
it's silly to not post it because you think that the whole world will show up, because they're not going
They're
to.
not
I don't care if they show
We're
up,
not
I'm just
that
saying they're not
interested,
gonna
I'm
fit
sure.
the
Yeah,
office,
they're
and then I'm
not.
gonna
No,
say,
we're not.
excuse me, you can't know about this stuff. Okay, so we satisfied that, let's go into the, you wanna do infrastructure report quickly, Bill, if you able to?
Why don't we defer to the administrator's report?
Okay.
I've been away on vacation for a couple of weeks, so she's probably, she being Jackie, more up to speed on what's happening and
And you might
most
have it in your
recently.
report, so
And
you
she
want to
will have
defer to
some
your
of that
report?
in.
Yeah, we'll just do my report.
All
I
right, so
mean,
we'll pick up the 3
basically-
CPC articles and the building, siding and roof, all that stuff in your report.
yes, I do believe I mentioned that the bid for the asbestos unit has been placed in the central register.
Okay, so we'll defer to later,
Okay.
not now. Okay,
Okay.
so, and then if it's not in the report, you can do it from recollection as we will discuss,
Okay,
ask
okay,
questions.
all right.
Okay, so human
Yeah.
resource report. As you know, a couple meetings ago, we had met and the Human Resource Committee, which comprised of me and Rudy and Jackie, met and had interviewed characters and made a recommendation for Steve Texera. And then we tabled that because of the desire to get comparability figures on other positions in the town, and also from the State Division of Labor and Industries. Am I right? We were gonna get something from
Yes, we did.
Yeah, oh, I have it, I have it.
the sewer, the water, the maintenance department, and the state's recommended figure. So with that,
Well, isn't the state's not, it's not a recommended figure, isn't it a required
it's a
figure?
required minimum.
Required
No.
minimum, yes. The way the
That's-
letter read, I
Well,
don't have the letter with me. I did-
I wanna see the letter.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It
Because-
says, because I quoted it right here. The
Because-
minimum wage rates are not to go below, which means, and I spoke to them too, because I said, when I go to the meetings, I hear the same thing. Some administrators say, you have to pay that amount, period.
Oh,
When I
yeah.
called them, they said, no, you can't go below this amount. You can pay them whatever you want, but you can't go below that amount.
That's not what DHCD said to me. And that's not what,
Well,
I spoke.
they're not Division of Labor and Workforce Development either.
Well, no, I know that, but what I'm saying is, I had called them about this form comes out in March.
Yep.
Okay, and I think, we all should have a copy of it.
We requested a new one.
Yep, and I've got that. I
Where is
certainly
it?
will give you a
Do you have
copy.
it with you?
Okay.
I don't have it with me. I was gonna bring it and then I
Okay,
didn't, so.
and
I saw
I
it.
spoke to Acushnet and I spoke to Abington,
Here it is, I got it right here.
Yep.
and they're both of the same,
Well, they're wrong. Let me
And-
tell you, I was part
There's the
of,
letter right there.
Narrow, and we fought, we hired lawyers, and we went against the Division of Labor and Industries to change this whole thing because thought they were inflating, or not inflating, but their formula was wrong, and they were coming up with salaries that were higher than directors were making, at least in the small places. And we lost the case in DHCD, and it's in the statute, I can read it, the statute, what it says in here too. But then basically, here it is, in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 120B, Section 29, the minimum wage rates to be paid by your authority for the jobs classified appearing below have been revised as follows, and this is as of August 18th. Maintenance supervisor foreman, $25.50. The minimum rates apply from this date through March of 31st of 15, and supplant any previous rates, which is the one you're talking about, of last August, or whatever, no, March.
March
Yeah.
31st.
Yeah, March
For
31st.
an
Please be
equal-
advised that any request for updates may result in increased wage rates. These rates do not preempt higher rates that may result in collective bargaining. And the rates do not apply to administrative personnel or that portion of administrators.
well, I'm just saying,
Because the authority's employees carried the wage classification and receive health and welfare through their employment, payment of such health and welfare benefit plans are not included. The housing authority and the maintenance person have the right to appeal. The appeal must be made within 10 days. The appeals should be made to Gene Zila, General Counsel, Department of Labor and Standards. So basically, that's what the law says.
well, I'm just telling you, I spoke to 2 housing authorities, and
Yeah.
first of all, I wanna know who you actually interviewed, because I've gotten some feedback that people didn't even have the courtesy of getting an interview.
No, what
Well,
we had a process.
What was the
If you
process?
recall, every one of us 5 got all the applications.
That's right?
We reviewed the applications, we had a checklist with all the names, and we said, interview, yes, interview, no. And then we submitted those blindly. I didn't look at yours, you didn't look to her, and she went through and picked the ones that had 3 check marks, right?
4.
4 check marks.
So who did we interview? I'm just curious.
Well, we sent out interview letters for 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
I called all 4 people, made arrangements. 2 did not show. One was, I don't know the names. One was, the only one I know is because it was Joe Edwards.
Okay.
And then Steve Texier and Michael Canasta, and I don't remember the 4th person.
I'd like to know the 4, because, only because I did get recommendations, and I don't even know this person. I have no clue, but they applied, they did not even get a call, they got nothing.
They did get a letter. Oh, yes, they did. The letter
I'm just
attached
telling,
it.
I'm just telling you.
I'm just telling you, I wouldn't do that. You know, I got all you guys made the recommendations, I submitted the data, and I followed through. So, I'll show it to you. I've got the file.
So
in the
everybody,
office.
there was 25 to 30 applicants, everybody
Some of
didn't
them were
get an
not
interview.
enough.
They were
not-
screened.
Right.
May I ask a question, Bob?
Rudy wants to ask a question.
Go ahead, Rudy.
My question is, Donna,
Yeah,
I may Donna,
yes?
you're bringing up something that you said this guy, or whoever it is, never got a letter. Is there whatever, a recommendation or something of that sort?
I haven't a clue. I have not a clue if what the recommendations were. I wasn't a part of approving all this. I think this happened before I came out.
All I'm saying is that we have a director here, we have a Human Resources Committee, we have the agenda, how we go about that. I believe Jackie has all the documentations.
Well, I would like to see them.
Well, you will see them if you ask for them of a matter that is befitting this board. It's almost like you're questioning the fact of my integrity.
I'm not sure.
That we didn't do the right thing or something of that nature.
I'm
That's
not-
right in a proper way. We'll give it to you, or Jackie will give it to you.
I am not questioning anyone's integrity. I just want to make sure that we are transparent. It-
I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but you come right on like we're doing something that this is not my feeling that we are, but that's the way you present yourself, Donna. Maybe that's your personality.
Maybe it's because
Well, why
time
don't
has
we leave
passed. We
personalities out
met,
of it, Rudy?
maybe it's
Say that
because,
again, I'm sorry.
maybe it's because time has passed, because we did this a couple of months ago, I think.
Yes.
And we screened all the applicants and selected those based on everybody's input to interview, and then some either didn't show or were selected and didn't show or whatever.
Sure.
But
And I mean, I guess probably it's unfortunate, but we all turned in our recommendations, and then Jackie compiled them, but we didn't see until after the interviews were all taken who, what the results of the compilation were to be, and that's just a step that was missed in the process. But I think the process was pretty clearly laid out. We all had the applications, we all had a check sheet, we all checked off the ones that we wanted, that we thought were, good to be interviewed. And if they received 4 checks from 4 out of 4, I guess,
Yeah.
because there's 4 people. So, I mean, because when you have that many, you have to have some mechanism for,
Right,
filtering them
that's for
down.
sure.
So then there were 4 people that had 4 checks for everything. And a couple people actually withdrew their names, I think, if
Yeah.
I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So we wound up with actually interviewing only 2 people is what happened,
Yep.
if I recall correctly.
Yep.
But
So,
that is not the board's fault.
no, I'm not saying that it isn't, then I wasn't implying that it was anybody's fault, Rudy. I'm just saying that that's what happened.
Yeah, that's the correct statement.
So,
We interviewed those that came forth and said they wanted to be interviewed, that were picked.
right.
How are we going to go around that? I mean, I don't know who Donna is talking to.
Well,
Maybe she can talk to
well,
after the
she
meeting.
just got a
Maybe
call
she can show
like
you.
that
It's,
somebody,
it's not really important. She just wanted her memory refreshed as to how,
I mean,
she just wanted her memory refreshed as to how the process works so that she can go back to this person and give them a response.
Well, that's all she needs to say. Simple.
Yeah.
We're not fighting each other. We're trying to
and I
work
think
with
she
each other.
did that.
That's all. We say, listen, Jackie, I need to show it so I can go back and tell this person they're wrong or they're right. That's all we need to do. We can be simple. We don't have to be anything like that. I know you mean well, Donna.
Yeah.
God knows you know well. You're a very important person in this community, but sometimes, maybe I'm a little bit sensitive how people come across. That's all.
well, maybe my delivery needs more work too, so.
Anyway.
I don't, and I'm not trying to be facetious or whatever, but if
Okay,
you want a question asked by the director or by the chairman, simply ask it.
Anyways, but that's the letter, and it says, and now I'm into chapter 121B, chapter 121B, section 29. It says, the Commissioner of Labor and Industry, said commission shall determine rates of wages and fees and payments to health and welfare, blah, blah, blah. In the event that any housing authority fails to furnish the commissioner with said list within 2 weeks after the date of record, the commission shall determine the rates and wages and fees in payment, blah, blah, blah. So the commissioner sets it. DHCD, other housing authorities can say what they want. I don't put a lot of stock in what a lot of housing authorities say because I've seen them and I know they never look at laws and rules and regulations. They kind of like listen to what somebody tells them the rule is without verifying. I verify. I don't trust. I verify. I look. And I don't accept somebody's word for it, whether it's a housing authority, or whether it's narrow, or whether it's DHCD, field rep, or whatever, because, again, my experience has indicated that they sound like they know what they're talking about, but when I go home and read my little green book called Mass General Laws, I find out it ain't quite the same as they're saying. They're trying to sell me. So,
Could I ask, what is the issue about Steve Tuxera?
oh, nothing. So I don't know where we were. I'm sorry, we got sidetracked. We got sidetracked on other applicants, and I had indicated that at that meeting, we came with a recommendation for Steve, and it was tabled pending comparable financial data relative to salaries, and you have that document here, Jackie?
Yeah, please.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah.
So somewhere here, we have a document.
Yeah, I see what you have.
Where's mine?
I guess I didn't look at the same places that you did, Jackie,
So
because I'm
we-
not getting,
So we're paying full health benefit, is that 100% benefit?
No,
No.
it's no benefit.
What? There's no benefit?
No, wait a minute, what are we talking about? I'm sorry, what's your
Where's
question,
mine?
Bill?
Oh, here it is.
Health insurance, we're paying 13.5.
For a family, yes.
That's what it would cost if we paid this guy.
That's how much we're paying right now, for retirees, we're paying $3,400 a quarter.
What percentage is that?
Oh, well, these percentages, I believe, are 75-25, which is what the state is at now, 75-25.
And so 100% is like 17 grand a year?
Correct. For family.
don't you wish you would take the in the public
Insurance.
sector?
That's the issue, so, but anyway, she did the
And-
comps.
And so, what does it say here, Bob, about health and benefits?
It's on the letter. Look at the bottom part of the letter. It says the figures they're telling you, you should keep in mind that it does not include health,
Health and-
life
no, it doesn't.
insurance.
Yes,
and
This
benefits.
one right
that,
here.
which is not the question I'm asking.
Right,
Okay, so what is, I'm
so
sorry.
so what we did is, what you, I
The
hope this does
question
is,
Getting
is,
us to hire
what,
somebody at a higher wage.
what
because they're not
is-
gonna get paid benefits
what is the requirement
They could get rid of everybody
for
at
health and
work.
benefits?
they figure the rate.
No,
They
what is
come
the
up-
requirement in our
For
personnel
520 hours,
policy
it has
In
to
for
the-
benefits?
in the
Guy who's
Mass General
going
Law,
to
No,
hire town
this
Wareham.
tells you what you should pay based on their study of laborers and all different
Oh,
groundkeepers,
okay, and
supervisors.
they came to us with an hourly, recommended hourly rate, which does not include.
Right, and they're
health-
telling you that.
Health and
Yeah.
retirement,
Which
We're-
is $25.20,
was $25.50.
50 cents.
Right.
although-
And,
Sorry,
but
this
it
says
doesn't
20
say,
cents.
It is
what
20,
is
yeah.
the,
Is it
what is
20?
our
It's
requirement or
25.20.
obligation towards paying
If we
for?
hire somebody full-time, our personnel policy not voted on yet, would require us to pay health insurance and pension.
Right, so basically what they're asking us to do, Bill, is to pay this gentleman more money now in lieu of paying him benefits later that may never materialize because he may not ever work for us for 5 years, he may never ever be, he may not even be here for 5 years. We're talking about going to $34 an hour
No, we're
for
not.
500.
30
We're talking about doing that in addition to this.
No.
No, no,
Let me
no,
go back.
that's the point.
Take her, you got the first page, it says simple. Simple was paid $29 an hour. In addition, he got these benefits of health and retirement.
Okay,
He
yeah.
was
So
here
that's
for 30
$9,
years,
that's
right?
$9.13 an hour. So in effect, he was costing
It's
the
not his fault
authority.
the director did
It
it.
was.
$38 an hour.
In effect, Semple was costing us $38 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you go to the town of Wareham foreman, $28.87. If you add in their health, and that's another $9.13. So he would be getting, costing $38 an hour.
Yeah.
And then Wareham Water District somehow or another, all inclusive of benefits, it comes to 66. I
Because
don't
they
know.
included everything.
I don't know how that can be, but anyway.
That's overhead and
So
administrative.
then you take supervisor as recommended by minimum by
Okay.
the state.
Yep.
25.20, you add in the 9.13, that makes it 34.33.
Okay, so that's where we got
That
the
makes them all comparable,
So you understand we're gladly paying Tuesday for a hamburger today.
yeah. But,
Well, we're paying, we're paying, no, that's, 5 of that is to,
9 of that is because he's not gonna get health and welfare.
he's not gonna get it.
We're not giving him, that's
He's
what it
waiving
says.
that.
He's
What
not
if he
gonna-
wants to get it?
No,
He ain't
he's
gonna get it, that's the deal.
Right,
If we make
he's
this deal,
gonna
he's
waive
not
it.
getting it. He has health
Oh, okay.
insurance from someplace else.
He might be able to come.
He has health insurance from someplace else, he's not asking for it, and we're not contemplating giving it to him.
Okay.
Other
But
way,
we're
the deal's.
paying him as if he would be getting it.
Exactly.
Because
Yes.
Exactly.
we have money and we like him and it'll be 520 hours less per year than any of the rest of these guys who are
Yes.
working full-time.
But it's still comparable, the hourly rate,
But
whether it's 40 or 30.
Got it.
It's outrageous.
Huh?
It's outrageous.
But you gotta understand, Donna, the state's telling you right off the top.
Right, 2520.
25.20.
I'd go with 2520.
I would too.
Right off the bat, I'd go with 2520. The whole town of Wareham guy is getting 2887. I might even consider going to 2887, but I'm not going to 34 hours on the thought that he might, just because he's not getting something
He's
else.
not gonna get it. That's that'll be his condition of employment. He's not gonna get it.
I don't know how that would go down if they decided, if something happened and he decided to fight it in court, Bob.
Well, first of all, he got no fight in the first 5 years.
So if he gets hurt here,
Right.
If he's got hurt, he gets workers' comp.
Yeah, which is a different deal.
It's a different deal.
But he gets workers' comp
I
at the
don't
$34 rate as
Yeah.
opposed to the work.
Right.
I think you're sending out a terrible message. I really do.
Well,
I think
I do
it's just
too.
a very bad message. I mean,
The whole town of
the
Wareham,
town of
this guy
Wareham.
is
This guy is the
2887.
greatest guy in the world compared to everybody else in the town of Wareham.
He's getting he's getting.
Not
le-
everybody else,
he's-
no, this was just a,
He's
no,
gonna
no.
get less
There
than
are other
this.
guys in Wareham that are paid more than this.
But they've been here a lot longer.
Yes, but.
Yeah, but if you count you gotta count the comparable salary. That's what the point of this thing was, to get comps. It's 34 versus 38 versus 66
Right,
versus
for 520 hours
34.
less per year as well, don't forget.
It's still
you're
per
getting-
hour.
It's per hour.
It's an hourly rate. Doesn't matter whether it's 30,
Right, but you're
25.
comparing the
You're
total
comparing apples
benefits.
to
and-
oranges.
I'm comparing an hourly rate.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well,
So
You
anyway.
mean
You won't get my vote, that's all I
All
can
right,
tell you.
fine. So here's the other thing I would point out also, that he, under the Wareham Housing Authority, is a member of the GIC,
Yes?
and it says here, health insurance buyout, okay? Say Jackie is in the GIC right now, okay? So next year, say she goes to the county, whatever the town's in. What is that called? Mayflower?
Mayflower, whatever, yeah.
Pilgrim Mutual. Under the buyout plan, eligible employees, which includes housing and other authorities, will receive 25% of the full monthly premium. That's the whole premium. It's employee and employees of UMass or whatever will receive the remittance monthly in their paycheck. Employees of housing authority will receive a monthly check. So we're telling him he's waiving this too, because he's not getting the insurance. We're not gonna turn around and give him 25% of the premium. And that's what, I know this is what goes on in other towns or authorities where the people say, I'm getting my insurance through my husband or my spouse or whatever. And I want the buyout.
If the folks that wrote that letter
This here.
say that this is okay, say, okay, you guys can do that, it's like saying, to me, it sounds like, okay, I work for the town, my husband works for the gas company, he's got a much better healthcare plan.
Yeah, and
So
so-
I'm not gonna take it, but I want more money because I'm not taking it.
Right.
And that
Wrong.
doesn't happen.
It doesn't
He doesn't,
happen.
does
he's
happen.
not, he's
It
not.
doesn't
Not
happen.
at
He's,
the
does
town of
no,
Wareham.
no,
Yeah,
excuse
it
me.
does happen.
He's not saying that. Please don't, that's not him saying that. That's me saying that.
Well, you're wrong.
Because we're paying anyways. As a matter of fact, we're paying $18,000 a year for our retirees for their pensions.
You're
And
wrong.
another $12,000 a year
That's
for
not-
their health care.
You're wrong.
But why are we doing that?
Right, why would we do that?
Yeah, why would
We
we
have
do
no
that?
choice. Why would we do
No,
what?
Do we have a
What-
contract that says we're supposed to be doing that, or we're just being
Absolutely.
generous people?
We're being generous.
Generous.
No, wait a minute, excuse me, no. We're paying $18,000 to the pension fund a year, not
That's-
because we're generous people, because that's the
That's not
agreement
what Bill was
that they
asking
made.
about.
That's
Jeff.
not what
Okay,
you're
so
saying.
I missed,
To the pension fund, what, that pays the pensions on the employees, former employees of the housing authority?
we pay our portion to Plymouth County Commissioners.
Oh, they come back and assess us every year.
They assess us
Then
every
when they
single year.
retire, they're not gone.
Okay.
Right,
There's an assessment.
right.
for-
So we're paying $18,000
while
a year
they're
now,
here, and
that's our
there's an
assessed
assessment
value.
when they
See, this is
retire.
where we're getting back into trouble in
Can I just
town.
ask for one
That
second?
didn't pay us
How
enough.
how many people are there?
I'm
that you're
trying to
paying
get that
towards?
number. Good question. I'm trying to get that. I've requested in writing 3 times. I mean, a
And-
call.
That should take 5 minutes.
Yeah, well,
Well,
welcome to.
Who'd you
Who's our
request that from?
administrator?
And would,
Plymouth County Commissioners, the
No
same
problem.
one,
And would it-
same retirement board that the Wareham town is in.
Well, I can get that for you in 5 minutes. That's ridiculous that they haven't
And-
answered
and
you.
would
Because
any
it
of-
might- That might be for 10 people,
and
it
would
might be
any,
$1,800
and would any
a
of
person,
them
which is
be our
peanuts.
former previous administrator?
I'm sorry? I didn't hear,
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know who they
people
are, so she
Right.
wouldn't know whether.
I don't know who it is.
Which makes no sense to me
He
whatsoever.
said he would get me, you know,
When they send you the
he said, I'll get you
assessment, I
a
got a
quarterly
list of the
report.
people.
And I haven't
Yeah,
got
you
it.
would
That's-
think, you would
Well,
think,
that's what the town of Wareham's does. They
You would
list the
think.
people and how much money it is per person.
yeah, you would
I-
think.
Do we,
Yeah.
Just get a bill,
Well,
do we know how many people it is
that's what I'm
it
saying.
represents?
no.
If it could be
No.
10, it could be $1,800 a person. It's,
Bob,
No, I don't
guess
think it's 10.
My only opinion
I know it's
here is,
not
and I
10.
don't wanna be, I don't wanna be controversial here, but it's wrong to make a situation for an individual. It's wrong. It's totally wrong. And it's gonna come back and bite us in the
Okay,
tail.
whatever,
I don't,
right.
number one, I don't think we're making a situation for an individual, we're making a situation for us. And it's a benefit to us, because it works out the same, because we're not paying for his health and insurance, life insurance and pension costs.
well, that's nice, and we should be
Well,
saying,
yeah,
great,
and
that's
if we
good
could
for
get
us, but we
employees
shouldn't
like
pay
that-
him more for because of it.
No.
It's what the
But
work is
we-
worth,
It doesn't
not
matter
what
whether
the-
we're paying for his health or not, we're paying the same amount.
Well,
Right?
Exactly. That's the whole
it's comparable, it's comparable.
It is comparable,
That's what
it's
you asked for.
$34 an hour instead
You
of,
asked
But, I mean,
You asked for comparable, let me show you this here, see this, I'll interrupt.
instead of 28.
Pension fraud, let's cut out pension fraud, it's stealing, if you believe public pension
This
fraud.
has nothing
has
to do
occurred,
with the
please
issue.
contact- I'm just telling you.
But it's a nice poster.
This is what's going
Yeah, it's a
on,
nice poster.
and they're gonna be looking into these matters of pension fraud.
Okay.
I'm
But
gonna make a
anyway.
motion, okay? I'm gonna move that we offer Steve Texera the 30 hours a week at $28.87 an hour.
And
He
I-
can take it or leave it,
And I will second it.
because that's what makes sense to me.
How much?
$28.87. That's as much as the town of Wareham maintenance foreman is making right now per hour.
he doesn't even have half the responsibilities our guy does. And that's what bothers me. For 30
How
years.
do you know?
How do I know?
How
Because
do
I
you
know
know?
we talked to him. I asked
How do you
him.
know?
I've asked him. I've spoken to him. I know him.
Okay, she made a motion, I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna
Second.
amend the motion that I recommend that we offer Mr. Texera up to $32 an hour.
I think there's a motion on the table and it's been seconded, and you have to
Right.
vote on that first.
I'm amending the motion.
No, we have to vote on the amendment
Now you
first.
vote on the amendment. Do I have a
Okay.
second to my amendment?
Second
A
first.
second for discussion, okay, so any other? All right, so now we vote on the amendment. Is that right?
I'm not a parliamentarian, but
So-
the
I think
best,
you take it in
best
that
of my
order.
humble
Yeah,
opinion.
all right, so are you still alive, Rudy?
Okay, so we,
All right.
32, how
Well,
much?
I'll make an amendment to the amendment.
All right.
Okay?
So we're gonna-
And I would like to propose that we pay him $27 an hour.
Okay,
Can
How's
I
that?
make a vote for cloture on the issue?
wait a
Right, I don't
minute.
think you can have more than one amendment
What
on the
was
table
your
at
vote,
a time.
Jane?
Can
How
only
much-
have one amendment
How
on
much
the
was
table.
your amount?
My amount was the same as the town of
24.
Wareham maintenance
Maintenance
foreman.
foreman, yes.
$28.87 for the entire town of Wareham. I don't care about
Okay.
it personally or
And
whatever.
mine
Maybe
was-
he thinks
what
he
was
has less
mine?
responsibility.
$32.
Seems like a
32.
little bit more
All right, so-
responsibility than $104
It's only got 100
units.
units. 104
Yeah,
units.
but it's what he does with maintenance of the equipment and he saves.
Well, that's what he's supposed to do.
All right, so we made a motion and
Yeah.
an amendment.
Yeah.
30-year-old stuff that hasn't been worked on.
Can I have some discussion on my amendment? Can you just maybe read from your report what you said in there, what he does or whatever? Not that report, the
Oh, he-
administrator's report.
Oh.
I think you,
No,
I
I
saw
didn't
stuff.
really put in what he does.
I thought I read something when I was reading
No.
the report. Was that the last
Yeah,
meeting?
he,
Wait a minute. Oh, he has done some really,
Under maintenance.
under maintenance, he really went out into bat for us on a number of occasions. I know it's not good enough for everybody, but, you know, especially working with local contractors, one of the most Pella windows, we had an initial amount of $98 a window, one of those panes, and he got it down to 58. because we had over 25. We may even go deeper.
And that's very nice, but I consider that to be part of his job.
I know it's
Right.
part of his, I understand it's part of his job.
Let her read hers, let's keep this going, let her read her positive things she has to
Right, I
say.
mean, plus we don't have to hire a plow company because he does our plow. We don't have anybody that can drive that plow but him at this point. All winter long, he, there was no extra monies, there was no, union contracts or how the town has to deal with the amount of money they have to pay for plowing. We don't have to do that because he is a member of our staff.
Can I ask a question about the plowing?
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
So when he plowed, we paid him for the hours he plowed, right?
Absolutely.
Right, and was there ever any overtime involved with the hours that he plowed, or?
Only 1 week. It was only one time that was overtime hours.
So it was pretty
We
much
adjusted the
part
hours.
Best,
pretty much part of his job also, the plowing
Correct.
thing. He
Right,
did it
but-
as part of his job. Thank you.
I mean, we don't have a multifaceted maintenance department where we can have people that
Okay,
just do
slow down, talk
sorry.
slow.
Yeah, so be careful.
Go ahead.
What, Rudy? We're
He
sorry.
said slow down, we're going too much. One at a time, okay?
I'm talking about my wife.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I have a question,
All
Mr.
right.
Chairman.
You can let her finish any more things you wanna read out of your phone.
Well, I just wanted to say that we don't have a multifaceted maintenance department. We have 2 guys that are part-time and they do everything. So, and I just,
See, I'm trying to deliver this in a nice way, okay?
All right.
Look, we have developments throughout the state, company do, and they have these small developments, like, this is small, this is
Yes,
small potatoes. And you know what? They put cabinets in, they put doors in, they put windows in,
Yeah.
they plow snow, because it's part of their job.
And he's doing all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, but they don't get rewarded for it, Bob. It's part of their job.
But he also
It's job
fixes the
security.
equipment. He fixes the
Well, so
truck. He
don't,
does the-
so don't other maintenance people. You're not seeing it because you haven't been in the business. And if you've been in the business for more than 8 months and been around and seen it, you would know that this is the way maintenance departments run. Good maintenance people are very talented people.
yes.
They're
But
not
they-
just, and they fix things,
But you don't have a one-man band that does it all. You have
Yes,
like,
you do in
guys that
some
do
places.
maintenance, they work in the garage, they do all the maintenance and repairs, they do other guys that are laborers, other guys. He's, well, more from.
you guys have made this a personal issue.
No.
And I'm trying to just make it, I'm just trying to make it a professional. I'm trying to be professional.
I understand,
it's
okay,
not-
I hear
it's
you, Don,
not
I
personal
understand,
with
I do
me.
hear you.
Okay.
It is not personal with me either, I mean, it's personal
Yes, it
because
is.
it is, and it is not. It is because I work with him, and I know how far he goes and how much heart he puts
And
into
I
it.
go to the end of the world for my people. Because
I didn't see that
literally-
in certain areas and other areas, so.
literally, the people that work for me, I was very, very fond of them.
Yes, and
My
I'm very
best friend
fond
was,
of,
but I'm not going to make a poor business decision for my company or my town because this guy is so valued to
we're not
me.
the town, we're our own.
I
our own
don't
business.
let's go.
care. And what I'm saying is,
Right.
you're not looking at it professionally, and
Let me
that's
just-
all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Let me
I
just say
hear you.
this, from my point
I'm
of view.
okay.
And I got nothing else to
Whatever way
say.
you have to say,
I
I
have
hear
nothing
what
to
you
say.
have to say, I will obey whatever you guys have to
From
come-
my point of
whatever
view,
you
it's not personal.
suggest.
I don't know this gentleman from a quarter wood. I've interviewed him. I hear what Jackie says about his performance and his reliability and his diligence. And I think he's the person we need under the circumstances here. And whether it's 29 or whatever it is
Right,
an
well,
hour, which is what Semple was getting when he left in August of 12
Yeah,
or
and he was here
13.
for 30 years.
Right, but still, when you add what he was getting in, it comes back up to the other figure, which is 34. But again, we're on the, any further discussion on the, we're only entertaining 2 amendments, right? The 2887.
Just the one amendment,
And
just the one
32, all right.
okay, so,
And-
I'm sorry,
So
can I
we're
just
going
get
with-
this
Go
clarified?
ahead.
Can our from 2887 or
No,
20?
wait a minute,
Okay.
no, we gotta vote this now,
Okay, all right,
okay?
all right,
Whether we'll see which one you end up offering them.
okay.
Okay, so I made the amendment of 32. So all in favor of offering Mr. Steve Texera, $32 an hour for not more than 30 hours a week with no health and welfare, pension, or buyout.
No overtime, how's that?
No overtime. Period. 30 hours, not to exceed 30. Okay, so that was my,
That was your motion.
Motion.
I have-
and it was
Discussion.
seconded, so
Just-
now it's on the table.
Just one point for that. With no overtime, what are you gonna do if you have a major storm? You need
No
overtime.
overtime period in terms of money.
I'm not looking at it time.
We won't give him, we'll give him straight time, or
You
she'll have
can't
other
legally
people.
do that.
You
We've
can-
got- Yeah, you can because it's less than 30 hours.
Less than 40.
Less than 40.
Only
Anyway,
go up to 10
we have other,
Right.
she's gonna have
It's more
other
than
people. When
8
you have a
hours in day,
snowstorm,
they
you're
have to pay
gonna,
overtime too.
when you have a
Not just
snowstorm, she's gonna
40
be
in a week,
relying on
8 in a
other
day.
seasonal
More
workers.
than 8 in a day, or 40
Anyway.
in a week.
So that,
Okay.
that's on the table.
Rely on your expertise there.
I'm gonna call for a vote on 32 hours, dollars an hour. All in favor? Pawelaitis, aye.
Rudy Sessions, aye.
Anybody
Donna
else?
Bronk, no.
Jane Donahue, nay.
No?
Lockwood, aye.
Okay, so three
Are you kidding me?
voted
Get that, Jane.
I'm out of here.
in favor.
This is a sham.
You're only talking a few
You're a
dollars.
sham. This is a sham. This is a sham.
I'm sorry, it isn't.
It
I
is.
did
It's
it.
a real sham. You're running a very, you're
This-
not running this properly. You're not running this operation properly. You're just not doing it. You're just sending the wrong message to people. And
Wait a minute.
and you're letting her tell you.
I'm not I'm relying, that's what, one of the things I do.
No, your job is to tell her what to do and
that's what
how
we're
to run
doing.
it.
Our job is to tell her now, when we vote, what we're gonna tell her.
All right, you do what you do what you want to do, because that's what you and Rudy do. You do what you want to do. Okay, I don't have any
No.
problem with that. I understand it. I've been down the road. I know what's going on, and I want the people of the town of Wareham to know what's going on.
Well,
And that's the way it is,
you're
Bob. I'm
wrong.
sorry. I'm totally
They could have
right.
voted that down, and we could have
Oh,
gone for
sure they could.
$29.
I could have bet you $50
All right,
that it was
anyway.
going to go that way.
We had a vote, motion was made, seconded, it was Pawelaitis, Santos, Lockwood were aye, opposed were, both opposed, right? There was no abstaining.
No,
That's correct.
Jane?
Both opposed.
Okay, so that motion carries.
Now it's on the main motion.
Now, that's on the main motion.
Okay.
How does this work?
To vote again.
You
We
vote
vote
again.
again, okay,
Just vote
so-
again.
Now we
Still
vote
gonna be
on
3 to 2.
$29, or you wanna round it to 29, or you wanna stick with the 28.87?
No. We only
Was it
got
28.87?
Bob, the amendment passed, dear. Your main motion, your amendment now becomes the main
Right,
motion.
yeah.
The main motion is now for whatever you made it.
Whatever you
32.
decided,
Right,
whatever you,
$32.
Okay,
whatever you
right,
decide,
Ridiculous amount of
$32.
money that
Okay.
you're gonna pay somebody.
okay.
Go ahead, you do it.
So now, the motion of paying Steve $32 an hour.
And Mr.
the-
Texera, I just want you to know that
Did I
there's
say
nothing
Steve?
personal about this.
Absolutely not.
Nothing.
No, there
It's
isn't.
just
about you.
professional,
Either way.
just professional.
It's
Either way.
It's not-
Whoever it
I
was,
understand.
It is.
And I,
the fact that
I,
we are about to vote to pay
Let's
somebody
just
part-time
vote now.
more than
Any-
the town of Wareham
No more
maintenance.
discussion on this, right?
no, no. More than just a phone,
Please,
okay.
we've gone through this. Okay, so on that vote, the main motion, all in favor? Pawelaitis, aye.
Rudy Sessions, aye.
Anyone else, aye?
Lockwood, aye.
Lockwood, aye. Any opposed?
Jane Donahue opposed.
Donahue opposed?
Donna Bronk opposed.
Bronk opposed. Motion carries. So you can proceed to offer him $32 an hour with those stipulations. There's no benefits, no
Will there be
buyout.
a contract, Mr. Chairman? Will there be a contract that
You
we
don't
will
need a
sign?
contract, you
That
know,
will
they-
say
Oh,
there are,
yes.
oh,
Yes,
yes,
you
we
Yeah,
do.
there'll
Yes,
be,
you do.
well, you call it a contract, I call it a memorandum of understanding. This is what we're gonna pay you for $32 an hour, 30 hours a week.
And he will-
Not to include any health
And he will
insurance,
sign
pension.
this waiver.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
what I want.
We'll prepare it. That's
And,
not a, that's
It is
there's-
a contract,
that's-
sir.
well-
I beg to differ with you. It's a
well,
contract.
It is.
it's an employment agreement, it's not like.
Employment
a
agreement,
contract, it's a legal
Contract.
binding.
Call it what you want,
Yeah,
it means the same thing.
all right.
And is there a duration involved? Is this
Okay.
for 1 year, 3 years, 15 years?
Right. I move that we have a 1-year contract / agreement for this amount, for this, under these terms. $32 an
I
hour.
actually would do
no-
3 years, only because then.
You
there'll
don't
be
have
no-
any say.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're right, I
Okay.
don't.
Subject to 1 year, is that what your
Yes.
motion
Yes,
was?
sir.
Motion for 1-year agreement on those terms. Are you getting all this, Barbara? $32 an hour?
And I would like
Barbara.
to see a copy
No,
of the written contract agreement before it's signed by the parties, please.
Right. Yeah, well, it's not
Will you
gonna be
sign
signed, the party's gonna be the board, and it's me as the chair, not her.
Right, well, I'd like to see
All
it
right.
before you
Yeah,
sign it,
when
Mr.
it's
Pagliakis,
drafted.
please.
How
Thank you.
latest?
However,
How
Mr. P,
latest?
I'll call you P.
Okay, P,
I'm never gonna get that right, I'm sorry.
all right.
W
Anyway,
is easier, I think. but
all right, so,
Lockwood's very easy.
let me,
And Brown.
I try to be.
Probably the easiest.
I'm way too
One-year
easy.
agreement.
1-year agreement, subject to renewal upon performance evaluation,
Right,
right. For
30 days.
$32 an hour.
there should be 30 days
For
notice
30
on either party.
Hours a week, not to exceed 30 hours a week, with no health insurance, life insurance, pension, or buyout. Those are the terms. Any further terms? All in favor of her 1-year agreement?
Was that
Which
renewable?
will be drafted.
Renewable or,
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it could be renewable. There's another, they usually put in a 30-day notice by either party.
Yeah, see,
To
those are the
extend
things
or-
I say you don't, that's what I say, when you do a contract, now you put in all that stuff, I don't necessarily, I can say, we don't put that in. He's a tenant, he's an employee at will. We don't have to
Okay.
give him anything. Just like it says in the law with our administrator. I don't like to give contracts that give buyouts, if you let me go, I get 1 year severance buyout, I get all this stuff.
And I think that if you don't spell all that stuff out, then you have no leg to stand on.
I got the leg that I stand on is what it says, exclusively and simply, that there, no other benefits, no other privileges. End of story. It's like my will, it's my last will and testament. Anyway,
That is on your will, right, Bob?
Theirs will be.
all right, so we'll draft that up.
Was there a second to Jane's motion for this?
Oh,
Yeah, who seconded
yeah,
it?
I'll second.
second by Lockwood, discussion all in favor, I think we voted it. Aye, Pavlidis, aye.
Aye,
Rudy Santos, aye.
Lockwood, aye.
Lockwood, aye.
Donahue, aye.
Donahue, aye.
Bronk abstain.
Bronk abstained on the contract, 1 year. All right, so,
There's a good time.
pardon me?
Oh, yeah, that's free, okay.
I can't
Okay.
understand a word. Rudy, I'm sorry, I can't understand anything you're saying. It's very
All
bad
right.
connection.
All right, so, that's good, let me find my agenda.
That would be good.
All right, so, well, now, well, hopefully,
2-minute warning.
okay, administrator's report. Oh, which will include the infrastructure update, please. You gotta take a break, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Take a break while you
Well, 1
change
minute,
the
just
tape.
1 minute, it only takes them 2
Just
minutes to
a half a
change it.
second.
These contractors to do.
So when she gives a report, let's put that in as a requirement, we'll vote on it.
I want a motion, I want a weekly vacancy report. That- You know, what's vacant, how long it's been, when you got the keys to it, how long it takes to get it ready, and what it costs to get it ready. That's all I wanna know, and what's the rent loss on it, that's all I wanna know.
We don't
Yeah, I
have,
can-
we will
can-
not be able, let me just tell you.
Let me
something.
just say this, can you hold that, when she gives a report and talks about vacancies and tenants?
But see,
I've seen it.
Yeah, but I wanna, then we'll put that
Yeah,
on
but-
as part of
but
her
Bob, I got a motion on the
requirement.
floor, but I made a motion. Yeah, I mean, you can vote it down. I mean, you're more than welcome. I just want this report, so I know who's doing what now, maintenance units and turning them over.
Fine.
How long are they being?
Let me just say this,
How long
I'm
are they
gonna rule you,
being?
I'm gonna not accept your motion, I'm gonna rule it out of order, I'm
Second
gonna
the
take it
check,
when,
not
as part
accept
of
the
her.
motion.
I can't?
No, you
I
have to
can't.
accept
I
it.
don't know if you can again. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm saying it's out of order, because I'm gonna take it up when we discuss her report and talk about
And then she
vacancies.
talked about
Sure.
it.
Then
No
we'll get,
No problem.
we'll
I
get
don't
all of
have a
that,
problem.
we'll get all of that in
Okay,
specifically.
what's-
This was, it
why the
wasn't in
report
order,
is
it wasn't out, it was out of order at the time. Okay,
Okay.
so tenant, administrator's
Okay.
report.
So, the wait list, okay, so that's number A, wait on, okay, we are working on cleaning up the wait list still. And, I spoke with Donna and Bob Paulides about a form that I have, like I said before, and that has all that information on it. So I will do that weekly, get that to the board weekly.
I think I've seen a draft of that in the office one somewhere.
Yep.
All right. So go ahead.
Do I just continue on, or do you wanna make that motion now, or do we
Well,
wait
when you
until
get
like
through,
we're
when you
finished
get
the
through,
report?
there'll be other things we wanna,
Okay.
have you do, I'm sure.
All CO2 and smoke detectors have been changed or batteries replaced in all 103 units. We have 18 stoves and cooktops that need to be replaced. We have replaced 4 stoves, leaving 14 to be replaced. We have also replaced 4 refrigerators due to broken down and empty units that did not have any. In Agawam, we need to take down 3 trees by building 2, 1 by building 1. In Redwood, we need to remove the debris in between building E and F and fallen trees and debris to the right of building E, 2 trees by building H, and 1 branch referred to as a widowmaker by the industry located near building H. Yearly maintenance inspections have begun. To this date, building A is completely been inspected. Most of the items are from past years' neglect of duties in regards to changing things that need to be changed or replaced, or painting units that have not been done in 23 years. We've begun to prepare for the cold winter and cold weather months. We're preparing our plow, snow blower, shovels, salter, stander. And it, I'm sorry,
Said it's winter is depressing.
it is. In addition to the stock of salt that we already have, since last winter, we will be purchasing a pallet for this winter. The rock salt industry last winter ran out in February, so we had to struggle to find it, and we have to be prepared this winter to the best of our ability. In Redwood, we have 74 broken or missing storm window inserts. Speaking for residents and past maintenance personnel, they've never been replaced. People have moved into units with cracked windows. Initially, we had been given a price of $98 per window, but because of Steve's diligence, we've been given a price of $58 per window. Building 3 and 5 in Agawam's windows are we are trying to fix. This is another, Steve found that he knows how to change the balancers in those windows. And they're still semi-functional windows. They're in really good shape for being so old. We needed a part called the balance. The cost to fix all 6 windows in each unit is around $300 contract price. As far as exceeds the replacement cost of around $300 per window plus installation.
Do you mean that it's lower than the replacement cost?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just the
Significantly.
balances and the parts that are affiliated with that. Heat has been turned on in each building. We've been notified by Bob Maderos, and this is the man I notified you folks before of. He does the pump work.
Where's he from? DHCD?
No, he is his own independent company
Okay.
representing, contracted out by DHCD to fix this type of system that they put in both here and in Middleborough Housing Authority. He said Middleborough, so he said that these pumps were a test candidate to see if they will fix the problem. Especially D building and B building, the water hot water turns off automatically for no apparent reason, and we have to go and reset it. The bid for asbestos remediation has been placed in the central register, and we will have a walkthrough on 9/29 at 9 AM for anyone who wants to bid on the job. We have 1 Redwood vacant unit will be occupied by October 1st, and 5 at Agawam, 2 are waived offline. We have prospective tenants for each of the units. 3 units are in turnover stage. We'd like to have the floors done I would like to have the floors done before they are occupied.
What are you talking about floors? The asbestos issue?
Asbestos floors, yeah. I was not able to do the tenants and accounts receivable to the best of my ability by the time this meeting is in here.
Get ready for today.
Yep, see attached Tom Joy's budget. DHCD has not released its guidelines yet for FY15 budgets. And then I gave you the answers to Bob's questions that Mr. Paulides had. Due to the most recent subsidies due to the most recent legislation, we have received an extra $5,000 for new computers and construction of a website, which we're required to have. For our MRVP tenants, 2 deaths resulted in 2 occupants, 2 vacant units.
Who does those units over?
Halkeen Management, we income qualify them.
How long does it normally take to turn those units, the MRVPs, where they're in charge of them?
How long, I do not know, I don't know the answer.
Okay.
We are supposed to have them turned over by 21 days. Tenants, coffee hour started, they meet every Thursday at 9 AM. They have informative guests and great topics. The first week was Miss Carol Anderson. She is a local author and a business owner living in Wareham. The second week, they had Mr. Guy Campina, a wastewater management treatment facility and supervisor, giving an update of how the facility operates. The tenants thought it was very informative and all tenants are welcome. Other MAPO meeting, which is the Massachusetts Association of Procurement Professionals, on 9/17. We met with Inspector Kuna. It was very interesting. He mainly spoke in the Westfield State College inspection. The report is public document and its oversight of the Board of Trustees regarding the day-to-day administration of the president. The IG's office gave the college 2 choices. 1, form subcommittees, or 2nd, to hire an audit compliance officer. It was an excellent meeting. We made some great contacts to the procurement world and received some great information concerning Chapter 30B. I went to a Schmieder Southeastern Massachusetts Executive Directors Association meeting on 9/19. This meeting was an overview of the most recent legislation in regards to the amendments to 121B of the local housing authority. Mr. Tom Conley, who is the president of NOW, gave the presentation. I will be attending front office training on 9/26. It was originally October 3rd, but they canceled that meeting, and there was one other they had on 9/26. Narrow's fall conference has been announced. It will be on 11/17. The schedule has not been finalized, but you can go on the website. They said in another week and it will be finalized. We've hired a clerk. The first day will be October 13th, 2014. Her name is Mrs. Rita Barnett.
Okay,
That's
Donna,
not accurate?
I think he's talking something in the voice.
Oh. That's not a name?
Go ahead, so Donna,
Rita
go ahead.
Barnett.
Well, Jackie said that, first of all, the units are supposed to be turned over in 21 days.
Right.
The vacant units that we have, according to your report, now, we have, how many vacant units do we have right now?
We have
You've got
5.
2 that have been offline, and they've been offline since before you came.
Yep.
So, are you wanna hold up renting those units because you've got VACT down there? Is it coming loose, or? You said
Oh,
you have-
absolutely. They've moved, they've been nailed down, they're cracked, they're in extreme disrepair.
And they've been offline for almost a year.
Those units, 2 units have been
Okay.
offline. Initially, those 2, yes.
Okay.
2 units are remaining open because 41 is gonna go into 26, and 21 is going into 53.
And this has got to do with the
That
handicap.
has to do with the handicap thing,
ring,
so I
ramp
couldn't
thing.
rent those 2 out. Then 2 people left within the last 30 days, so. And there's only 1 unit that's left to have work done on. As soon as we're finished with the other things, then we're gonna go right over and finish that. And then the only thing left to do, hopefully within 2 or 3 weeks, after October 8th, the asbestos remediation done, and all of those units will be occupied. We don't have a loss because the rent is based on the person's income. It's not based on a fair market value rent, and we get 30%.
What she means is when the unit's vacant, we're losing money.
We are losing money, but
We're losing
I can't
business.
tell you how much money we're losing
Right, I
due to the
understand
fact that.
I've
Well,
lost,
you're losing the total amount for the unit, because it doesn't matter what their share is, how much the unit goes for, that's what you're losing.
No, we don't have that in this particular housing. That is
you're
your.
losing the income from that
You're just
unit.
losing the income period, but we don't know what the income is because it's based on the next available person on the list.
True, but
Revenue,
whatever
no,
it
no.
is, right, whatever.
Right, like Halkeen Management has a fair market value rent amount, MRVP pays between the tenant portion and the fair market value rent.
But you're
We're
losing
not,
the tenant's rent and the
That's
subsidy
not the
to the
point.
tenant's
We're
rent.
losing whatever it is,
Losing the
$25 a
rent.
month, 50, 100, whatever it would
Correct.
be for that next eligible
subsidy.
person, that's her point.
Is that your point, Donna?
Now, I just wanted to know how much money we're losing, that's all. I don't know what you're
I
losing.
know you can't identify a precise amount, but people go through and they do statistical analysis to determine what the average monthly is over the last year and come up with that. We're not into that, but there is a loss unless the person, the
Correct,
next
absolutely.
person is gonna pay
Absolutely.
zero,
Correct.
which is that thing.
There
But
can be some people that pay
I've
zero.
always, I've advocated and with DHCD and Narrow and other things about the 21 days, but
Oh.
the lost cost has to be offset by how much would it cost to expedite the unit to get it in, up and ready in 21 days?
Can I just ask a
You
question?
know, so all of these things
Can I
have
just,
to be
I know,
weighed.
can I just ask a question?
Absolutely.
Okay. And because and it's only because I don't understand it, right? And we have to turn units over within 5 days, okay? Because we're losing money. Now,
Right.
your program might be different. I don't know your
No.
program, that's what I'm asking.
No, let me tell you, when the auditors go out and they do, say they just do occupancy, they'll study the occupancy and they'll say, you got 20 units out of 300 vacant, you're losing this.
Yeah.
But then they take into consideration, and they figure that based on averages and of all the units together and what that average unit might be going for. Not that it's gonna be the actual unit of the next person in line,
But
because
we
you
don't
don't know.
experience any financial loss, that's all I wanted to know.
Well-
If we do, I just wanted to know what it was.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Two things, we do experience a loss and we're depriving someone
Oh,
of
most
of
definitely,
housing.
that, I understand that.
So
But
that-
if
But
we're
it's the
not
cost.
losing financial money, it's no incentive to make people turn them over in a hurry. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, and
Well,
I got a little confused somewhere in the middle here.
Right. Well, I'm right there
If
too,
there-
I'm in the middle, I don't know.
If there's 100% of the cost, and the tenant pays X%, and somebody else pays the
The
rest.
state.
Wait a
The
minute.
state pays the rest, correct?
Yeah, in the MRVP program, but not in state subsidized housing
Not-
developments.
not here.
No,
Right.
state
Okay.
subsidized housing developments, we do not have a fair market value rent.
No, forget that.
Wait,
Here,
he-
Subsidized housing, this
Get it.
section 667 elderly housing,
Yes,
you have, the budget for that operation is, let's say, $500,000 of rents.
Yes.
Income for this 104
yes,
units, whatever we got.
That's from the tenants.
500,000 income.
yeah,
If the cost is 425, we have a profit. We're operating without a subsidy. But in this case, we have $500,000 worth of cost to operate these two Redwood and Agawam,
Yeah.
and we have $425,000 worth of tenants' income.
income,
The difference is the subsidy from the state of $75,000. So
okay.
that's,
So we are losing money
That's the
by
sum
not
of
having them
substance.
ready. Okay, that's all, I wanted to know and I wanted to assign a value
we're losing
to what
money.
we're losing.
Or the state's losing money, because if we took in more money, the state would give us less of a subsidy and the taxpayers of the Commonwealth would pay less.
That would be good.
You know, so it's not,
Taxpayers
it's
like
not the
some-
town,
Taxpayers
but
like to pay
it's
less.
it's on our responsibility to get the units turned around as quick as possible at the lowest cost to accommodate eligible people and to bring in the most amount of money so we avoid taxpayer subsidy. All right, so
Got it.
any more,
I just wanted to, I just really want,
now on your issues that you'd like.
all I want is a vacancy report, when they move out, how long it takes you to rehab a unit.
Get it, and what's the condition of the unit? I think that's
Well,
important. What's the condition of the
Of course it's
unit?
important, well, the thing is, that's not important for the report. I mean, she can tell us that,
All
okay?
right, she'll-
It's
she'll-
just is how many days, cause it's,
All right.
Statistical.
it's the
All right,
statistics is
statistical,
all.
but I like to see the, when we read the statistics, I like to see the extenuating circumstances, why this place has been open vacant for 6 months, 8 months, or whatever, was it a fire, burnout, whatever, so you're gonna have to give us that detailed information, as far as I'm concerned, because statistics don't mean anything without some explanation.
Earlier in the meeting, we alluded to that you had given Jackie, Donna, had given
Yes.
Jackie
Right.
I
a
give a-
certain number of forms.
I give a whole manual.
Yeah, you've
And
got that.
was the,
Yes, I
was
do.
the
Yes.
report that you're requesting one of those forms.
Yeah, but she can revive it to her.
Well,
No, we didn't, it's done
but
with, and I'm
the
gonna,
outline-
Yes, I
the
did.
basic-
I gave her everything. Yep.
Cool.
Okay, so we'll,
And
When we
anything,
okay, I really want you to understand, and I wanna get there, Donna. I'm not saying that I don't want to, no, I do.
It's not
Okay,
polite,
all right,
everybody.
all right,
okay.
so let's,
Here's my dilemma, and I want you to understand, okay?
Close fist
We're
is even
dealing with a
worse.
waiting list that has no integrity whatsoever. I want to make sure, more importantly, that the people of Wareham know when they come here, they're going to be treated fairly and justly. And that means where's the beginning of the line? Where was the beginning? Up until 4 weeks ago, I thought we had a beginning of the line. And now that I've got my hands in there and really every day working on it, I've got a beginning of a line, especially for the 667 program. And I feel very confident for that, but not for the confident. And then also, I have to do the eligibility process for these people. And then the amount of work that it takes to do these units.
Well, I understand where you're coming from. I totally understand where you're coming from. Been there, done it 100 times, okay? But the problem is, it's overwhelmed you and overtaken you. You can't, we gotta throw away the past. There is,
Right.
stop throwing the blame anywhere.
I'm not blaming anyone.
No, I just say, throw it away, and start fresh.
you know,
Start
the
fresh.
DHCD's not letting us do that.
No.
They want all those piles of applications to be placed in some order,
And they're
given a
supposed to be
number.
annually, they
Yeah.
are, supposed to be.
They're not, if you go, when you come up to the office on that day, you'll see the condition, maybe visibly see.
Okay.
But do you have now her request for vacant ledger? What?
That's the one I used to
Right
look
here,
at.
right here.
That's it,
yeah.
right, this right here.
Yeah.
This is it right here. You can take it,
Yeah, you can pass that around.
Give me
And
your
see
suggestions.
see if there's anything further, if that's sufficient. To me, it's like you say, it's statistical. I'd like more meat on the bone when it gets through. But while you're looking at that, can I comment a few things? You talked about, in addition to the stock of salt, we're gonna buy a what do you call it?
A pallet.
A pallet. Now, is there any way we can piggyback with the town like we do with gasoline and other things and get some salt from them at their costs and we'll reimburse?
I will look.
Look into that, because that's one of the things we're eligible to do. And if they buy it by the bag or a pallet, they've already gone out to bid on all this stuff.
I think they're by the,
Bulk, by
yeah,
the
they
truck.
have to get it dumped.
Yeah, well, we'll find
Yeah,
out.
we don't have a house to put it in.
They may not though, when they're doing sidewalks up around town hall or whatever, they might have, unless they
Oh,
have
okay.
shovels.
All
But
right.
just,
I will look
just
into
look
the
into
cost
that.
of rock salt
And
through the town.
when you do waitlist and you say we're in good shape and things like that, if you could elaborate, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Um,
Meaning that we now have files for every one of these, we have their numbers, we have their dates, we have accuracy, we are soliciting to bring in the people that are reaching the top of the list. It's not like pull out one, pull out another, it's in an orderly fashion where I am reaching out to these people to make sure that all of their documents and they're still eligible for our programs. Unfortunately, sometimes they're not eligible, even though other things, they have records where, especially the MRVP program, it's hard.
They might have been eligible when they applied, and they're no longer eligible.
Correct.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
you
I understand
understand
that.
that. You do.
That's a
font, yep.
it's a
I
terrible thing of the.
It is what it is. Those are the
It's
rules.
very laborious. It's
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
Down on the bottom where you say MRVP, two deaths of tenants, we can leave out the because of why, you know
okay,
what I'm saying?
all right.
In parentheses, leave out the parentheses, we don't need to know that. Then Jane, you emailed about a question in regards to some contract. And
Yes, I did.
said,
It
and
was
I
about
don't
the
remember what it
fee.
was.
Right,
but
it was about the $10,600 Griffith and Ferry fee.
Well, I saw this email
Right.
string that said,
Right,
we need you to tell us whether or not it's okay for the fee to be increased, and then DHCD said, well, that's okay, and then they said, well, is the Wareham Housing Authority gonna approve that? And Jackie said, yeah, that's okay, we'll do that. I don't know what the time constraints were, I don't know what the
Right.
dollar amounts were involved, I don't know how that can be done without a vote of the board. Did we not vote on the original fee at some point in time? I don't
I don't-
understand
so-
any of that
I
process.
wanna, that's what, can we tell her, what's the project? I forget. Do you
Well,
two-
The
that is the
project is
building,
the roofing, siding, windows, and door project, and they, DHCD, once they give us the formula funding, they also give, there's a percentage of that that can go to their house, they hired their house doctor to do the architect work, and then the house doctor itself subcontracted the Griffith and Berry.
Who are what?
Who are the engineers, the electrical engineering and plumbing engineering for the handicap units. Initially, when they were doing one building and not the extensive work that they're doing, Griffith and Berry's fee was smaller. And Knott Architects sent it back to us because you guys are the ones that, although we don't have control, they hired these people. They need our response for the fiscal part of it only. So they're required, they can take 25 or 20% for soft costs, engineering costs, and it's within that ballpark figure of the whole entire total amount of the project itself. So that's out of our control. The amount of fee is out of our control.
It seemed to me that they were asking for our approval.
They
So
do
when
ask
they
us
ask you for
approval.
your
Yeah,
approval, that
right.
sounds to me like it's something within your control.
Well, that's what
if
they
we
do.
voted no?
That's what they
Then we
do.
hold up the
And
project.
then what they did to me, like they did on this project here, when I was screaming and hollering about the 45-gallon tanks for 8 units here, the ultimatum was approve the change order, or approve the thing, or else we're
No.
out, you're on your own. So now, that's the game they play. They put a gun to your head, they take you down this road. I'd like to be, hopefully, they're not gonna be involved in any of these CPC projects.
No.
I'd like to not have their house doctors or their list of subcontractors that they force upon us and increase the cost of every project that DHCD gets involved with. I've said for a while that it should be Division of Capital Asset Management that bills the
This
colleges.
money does not come out of our operating budget,
No, but it's
correct?
taxpayer money.
Well, it's taxpayer money,
Right.
that's why I was
It's paid by the
concerned, and I
state.
was also concerned about the fact that we were just rubber
Well,
stamping
right.
what they were
we
doing.
Well, that's what they want
Well,
you
we
to do.
didn't.
But see,
Sorry?
that's how they put you on the
What do
spot.
you mean we
They-
didn't just rubber stamp it? We did.
We questioned it, we asked for a reduction.
I didn't see any of that correspondence.
No, we
There
didn't.
wasn't.
I didn't either.
Yeah, no, that was.
Well, and that's part of what, sometimes the whole story is missing, Bill, and that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's
We
what-
meet once a month, and a lot of stuff happens in between, and there's never any time to catch up on the and
Well,
what's
this
going
is,
on in
again, this
between.
is an
And even
involvement.
when I ask the question, I don't get a call or this is what happened.
This
and,
was all this
it's
work that Jackie and Bill were working on to try to
it's like
get him down, just like they got,
just asking a
they
question.
got, no, that's good. And we would, on full disclosure, we try to inform everybody of everything. I wasn't in the loop, but that doesn't excuse it. I wanna know too, just like Knott, because of Bill, we got them to give us a credit for some of their outrageous administrative costs. So anyway, that's the explanation. I don't like it. I'd rather be
Well, I
rid
don't
of
like
those
it either,
people.
and I would like to,
Is it worth-
I would like to at least experience, is it
Is
worth
it-
saying no?
Is it worth going up there and, I mean, why do we have to use their architects?
Well,
Yeah,
this was a project that was
This
already
is the way
started.
they built the
They
system.
had already started that project previous to all of us. And so, kind of like, just to get it through, and I
It's
agree with
another
you,
Part of the question.
let's
Yeah.
What are we
now
talking about?
see for the future ones, can we just kind of take it over ourselves and just do
We
all of
should,
the
yeah,
work?
we should be able to do it
I
ourselves.
mean, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that you sent us out the information,
We
but I
should,
also
but we
have
haven't.
no idea what
I
the
know,
project was, when it
Right.
started, was it something that I
Right.
missed in the
This
last
is
9
the
months?
project that is
It
going to.
was just a piece of
Right.
that roofing siding
Right.
project, and it caught me too, but I was away and I said, we'll bring it up at the
Because
meeting,
that-
and
Had started long before us. They had started initially going out to
The price that we're discussing is a difference between the price that was given last summer and the price that was given this summer.
Right.
That was the revision in price that we're talking about.
Thank you all for all the information.
You're welcome. It's not something,
No, it just
no.
doesn't, something that
I find
doesn't
that-
make
I
any sense
don't
to
when
me.
you go and read chapter
Plus,
30B and.
When I mean, the dates were also in my head. I mean, this conversation started prior to our last meeting and ended prior.
In between.
In between, and it wasn't brought up at our last meeting, so I just.
It was a part that wasn't.
It was just something that
It wasn't
got probably
discussed.
lost in the shuffle, and there's so many other
No,
things.
it wasn't
but-
something we knew about until the DHCD emailed her and said,
No,
you
it
gotta
was-
approve
yeah.
this.
It
Well,
was-
we were talking about it, it
It was,
was, so.
it was August 11th or something, Bob, and we
Okay.
met on August 20th, so I was like, how come we didn't talk? Is this something we should have
Right.
talked about? And how does it get approved without?
Well, we were
voting
trying to
for
get it lower. I think that's why it just didn't come at the meeting, because I think we reached out to them to see if it could they give us, I just think it's astronomical, actually. I think it's
Well,
ridiculous.
maybe somebody else could know somebody that they can talk to. If everybody, you know,
Who knows about
if everybody knows about things, I mean, you can do one thing that somebody else can't do.
Yeah.
She might have things that she can do, or contacts that she has, same with Bill, and same with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you know, and I think you know, if we could share that information,
Okay,
and then, you know, if somebody says, hey, look, I know somebody, I can call them, I can see what we can do. I'm willing to say, okay, do it, you know, do it. You know,
It just kind of goes back to points that I've made in the past. We don't see each other enough. We don't get information enough in between meetings, and then we are going, what the hey, you know, so it's really more communication. It all boils down to more and better
I will
communication.
definitely agree with that. I know that I have to work harder on that. I just take the ball and run with it, and it's not that I'm trying to do it for any other malfeasance or any, to not keep anybody informed. It's just, you know, and I mean, there are things you know, that's where I'm hoping these little committees be a lot better for all of us, or however you wanna document them, or come in, and you come in, get the knowledge, and help me say, hey, you need to inform this is how you do that. I don't know, you know, so.
Well, we're all
And then
pretty
we'll
young
come
still,
up with a
so-
list of things that we think should be improved, not wrong, but things that can be done better, or things that can be improved, and we'll know, because it's not a question and answer, we see it with evidence, and then we can give advice and recommendations at the board. Okay, anything more on, I'll bring up this accounts receivable thing when we get to the fee accountants thing. All right, we'll go there. The next thing would be the financial statements. Mr. Joyce sent us.
Motion to accept the administrator's report.
So moved with the recommendations of Ms. Braun relative to
Weekly.
additional
Wait a
information.
Second.
minute, just wait a minute, just could you please repeat
You have that
exactly
form.
what you need from me? Can you see
That
that paper?
form, that form.
Donna?
yeah, I
Can
did.
you, are you okay with that? You want more things?
No, I don't want any more things or anything. Look, can I talk to you about it?
Sure.
I'll talk to you about it.
But
I just added
that's the
on, there,
basis.
that's one thing that I added on, was the unit numbers and the date that they're vacated. because
Exactly, and
because
and
I think that's
are they
one
all
thing-
one bedrooms or studios, or like?
We only have one bedroom here
Yeah.
in studio, they're called, I would call them studios. They just only have a partition in between a living space and a
Yeah.
bedroom.
It's like a one-room unit, motel unit.
Swedish type.
So
home.
I was looking like units here that are vacant, 23B, 24B, okay? Date became vacant, okay? Gross rent. In other words, what we would be getting if we didn't, but maybe that doesn't affect, it's not affected,
Okay,
okay?
I'm-
And the number of days lost,
Right,
Yeah.
okay. I
you know?
understand.
Yeah.
That's all I'm looking,
Yeah, we can.
you know.
And the
we
reason
can-
that I put the unit number on there is because they change. One fills, one
Exactly,
empties, one fills,
exactly.
one empties.
And we can
So I'm
follow
going back
you.
over my notes and I'm going, well, 5 are vacant now, 5 were vacant 3 months ago. Are they the same 5? You know?
No.
No, I know they probably
Yeah, no,
aren't,
they-
but I
they better
don't know
not
that.
be.
I hope not.
Well,
But see, it
you
doesn't
have been.
but it doesn't make,
Right,
it
two have been waived since
it doesn't
before you
make
got
it
here.
clear the way it's,
Right,
we're
so
told
you-
now. We just want it clear.
Okay,
A report
I'm
that's
sorry.
understandable.
All right,
So,
and you want the unit numbers, okay.
yeah, in location by project. All right, so again, now we got, you remember at the last meeting, we were presented with the June 30th fiscal year financial statements operating.
Bill made a motion on that.
Oh,
And I
I'm
was
sorry,
saying,
I'm sorry. Motion
And
by
I
Bill,
seconded it.
yeah,
seconded by Jane to accept the
Thanks, Bob.
administrator's report with the amendments. Any further discussion? All in favor? Bob Powell, aye.
Lockwood, aye.
Donahue, aye.
Bronco, I.
Sorry, Rudy. I
Rudy,
keep
you
forgetting
still there? No, we lost him, darn it.
No charger.
Oh, this, somebody moved this, came off. Oh, boy. Anyway, so, he didn't call us back, he don't care.
Was your phone busy though? Could he call you back?
Yeah, he might not have called.
No, it would have turned off after a certain amount of
Yeah,
time,
he
I
probably
think.
$6, but.
So unprofessional.
Hey Rudy, I'm sorry, we got cut off. But we just had a motion to accept the administrator's report with additional information that's required relative to tenant vacancies, etc.
Okay.
It
All in
was,
favor?
we all voted in favor by roll call vote. What's your vote?
Will be yes.
Pardon me?
In affirmative, yes.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to the financial statements. And
Okay, I got shut off, I don't know how.
yeah, that's probably some, I think it's on this end, somebody moved the phone. But anyway, this month we just got, we got one statement from the fee accountants
I'm sorry if I don't laugh.
that says
Angry.
July 31st, so it's 1 month of fiscal information for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2015. That's all we got.
Okay.
To me, it's not what I asked for. I wanted them to revise the June 30th
That's
annual.
the account.
Yeah, the fee
You wanna see
accountants,
the end of
Joy.
the year?
Yeah.
So, he did answer some of the questions in here, but I asked about putting in on the balance sheet a reserve for doubtful accounts, which we gotta do when we do the budget. I think we need to do that. So we can, one of the purposes of a financial statement is to, on a balance sheet, is to value your assets. When you show accounts receivable of 11,523, which we'll discuss, because your report shows a different amount.
6,000 something, it's
So I
the
wanna
same as it was
know, I
last
wanna
month.
know why that is.
Right, that is, yeah.
But secondly, if that 11,000 is not the value, you have an allowance, which you reduce that to what the value of those receivables are. And the purpose of an income statement on the other side of it is to match income and revenue. So during the year, we book revenue as the whole rent roll, collected or not. That's the income.
Yeah.
Then we
Then you
credit
have
the,
the-
we
the
have the
vacancies.
receivable,
Yeah.
receivable income. Then when we get paid, we reduce the receivable and have cash, but that income is still there, so we have to adjust our income by recording a bad debt expense in an allowance, which affects the value of the asset. So we need to do that. And I think pretty much the other questions I had, he took care of. And the other thing I'd like is that we gotta get him to give us, the whole is equal to the sum of its parts theory. This is 667 budget. I wanna see the MRVP, I wanna see eventually the projects that we're doing on the roofs,
Yeah,
the
everything
siding,
you
the
got
stoops,
on it.
the CPC articles, those are all part of our assets. I wanna see that on a consolidated basis, so we know what the hell this place is worth.
Can
Yeah, we
I
don't
ask
have
one
that,
other
do we?
question?
Go ahead.
When he does his financial statement, it's obviously not, I mean, it's familiar to me, but it's not what I've been accustomed to using. Do they not take, how come they don't take the gross rental? Like, in other words, when you do your budget, don't you put like, okay, say I've got I'm projecting 100, if I was 100% occupied, I'd have $100,000 income. And then you project your vacancy. So you take a percentage, whether it's 5%, so you take $5,000, okay? So then you have your NOI, which is your net operating would be $95,000. You
Right.
don't do that? They don't do that.
What I'm saying is, what I'm thinking is that the $416,000 that's reflected on here has the backup documentation that reflects that, but That would be my thought process, is that there's backup pages for this, is there not, Jackie?
Well, yeah,
No.
yeah,
This
that's-
is what I'd like to get flushed out when the budget committee meets. I'd like to see
Yeah, and I
line
don't
by
see any,
line.
I don't see any
What's-
bad debt or anything here.
That's right, that's what I was.
Well, where does the 416 come from?
It's the estimated gross revenue. I'd like to know whether that's full occupancy like you, or partial
Yeah,
occupancy,
yeah,
or
yeah,
is it based on history, what was last year's?
Exactly.
Give or take, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So those are the things we need
Whose
to,
number is it?
it's his
Tom
number.
Joy's number?
Yes.
Yeah, based
Yes.
on his experience. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of experience at this for a year to build a budget, but
No,
she's
no,
getting
no.
a lot of
No,
understanding.
no, I understand that
But
too.
that's what I'm trying to say about this
So,
committee that
basically-
meets. And then we need to identify, what do we want to
Maybe we
maintenance?
should meet with, maybe we should meet with the
We'll have a
the
separate
accountant.
meeting with him,
And
yeah.
say, hey, because maybe it's a different accounting system than what,
Yeah, well-
that we use, because a municipal accounting is altogether different. I mean, that was a whole year for me to learn
They
that.
should they should give you a chart of accounts that says what the 3110 account is, and what its purpose is,
Exactly,
what goes
chart of
in there.
accounts, exactly.
So, these are my frustrations, I get answers, but I know what I'm looking for, like you know what you're looking for. But, so, I agree, we need to flush it out, what do we think, from working with
Because-
Jackie, what do we
yeah.
think the revenue item should be, what do we think our cost should be?
Because-
And then if the state says, oh no, we were only gonna go up 3% over last
Mm-hmm.
year, fine. We will put a footnote on the bottom saying, but we think, because of the condition, we need to incur costs for more refrigerators, window repairs, whatever.
And
That's all.
Yeah, and if you have all this, like the NOI, and then you come down and do your expenses, your bad debt and everything, it can become, for a property manager,
Yes.
no, it becomes a game. I can beat this vacancy rate next year. I can
Oh,
do
yeah.
better. I can do better.
A challenge.
It's a challenge.
Showing what the
Yeah.
flow
No, I was really
is.
happy that we were able to, we had $26,000 we put into our reserve. He was like doing backflips.
Oh, that's right.
Let's see.
You don't have to put a certain amount every month in, huh?
No,
Oh, that's another thing, replacement reserve, you don't have it.
No, we have no,
We have it.
this is
Well,
called an operating reserve.
reserves.
This is
Okay.
for this unforeseen whatever, but again, it's got to the point where DHC doesn't let you do anything without their permission in that. We used to be able to do it.
Right, well, how does it
Run your
either?
own authority.
You put your money, they tell you what money you gotta put in there, but you still have to, they control the funds. You have to put your bills and everything together and make sure that they fall into the category
Yeah.
of the capital in order to get reimbursed for it.
Right, but what I'm.
But I'm not seeing any of that here.
No, neither am I. What I'd like to say is, we build the budget, we talk with him, we say, this is what we would prefer our budget looks like for next year, and if it's 800,000, and he says they won't accept that, then we gotta put at least a footnote and explain, we expect costs to be X dollars.
You know what-
Anyway, so here's my, on looking at Tom's balance sheet, he says, again, we have tenants accounts receivable of $11,538. And Jackie says we have
6,900.
$6,904. So again, we wanna know, where's that, how does he have 11,500 and you have this? What's the difference? We need to know from him, or you. What's the difference, why it is that the doubtful accounts, are those the bad debts?
Yep.
What are they?
Yeah.
I mean, in like, Donna was saying, when you get the, where's that form she had?
This one right here.
Yeah, when you get this like, aging, I would like to know, like you say, 30, 60, 90, 120
Yeah.
days, how many are vacant? How many units,
We wanna know exactly how many every
people
month.
have vacated
Exactly.
owing us money? Those are doubtful accounts. If they vacated,
You put them in collection.
or they're dead, the likelihood of collecting is pretty remote, so.
Oh, yeah, if they're dead.
That's our basis for bad debt expense. Anyway, so we need to, just
Why,
commenting on the fund.
you said we had an agreement on a $6,000 amount there, and obviously the person's not living up to it. Whoever are there are not living up to it, because it's still the same amount this month as it was last
Well,
month.
no, my notation on that amount was that I was not able to update that.
Oh,
I
okay.
do believe it's.
They're
I
living
mean,
up to
two
the
people-
agreement?
Well, one
They-
person was not living up to the agreement, but we've come to a conclusion that he is now living up to his agreement. He came in, we sat down, we worked it out.
Good.
So two other people, so all three now will be working up to
Well,
the
that's good.
arrangement. And one is definitely.
That can be a pain to follow.
Right.
Yeah,
One
but-
person really, I mean, but in all honesty, I mean, every one of these, you had to dig through because they had receipts that they had cash receipts that they brought in cash that were not documented on their account in PHA. So we're rebuilding the PHA, making sure that that has integrity.
I've seen that, yeah.
So we don't accept cash anymore, boom, and they can go right to the bank and pay their runs.
Yeah, we've made
Right
all
to our
kinds of
account.
arrangements.
We
They
make
can pay
great-
at the bank.
And we have a check machine in the
We got a
office.
machine.
They
There's
come
no-
in, at the
no
end of the
reason.
day, all the checks are running the machine. So
But as you see, Donna, that's $7,000 between 3 people. I mean, even if one is 3, the other 2 are 2.
No, I understand, I'm
And
just,
it means that that's been allowed to accumulate. That's a lot of rent because they've.
in a place like this,
Yeah,
yes, it's a
but
lot
say
of,
it's $400 or
Yes.
$500 a month, you're talking
yeah, it is.
20 months in arrears. So that's what we wanna know, is just when you get in the vacated, I didn't write it on there, but vacated rent,
vacated rent,
vacated
Yeah,
month.
okay.
People that left and owe us money.
okay, so I'll
Yeah,
just
so
put
you got
another
30,
one.
60,
Number
90
tenants,
days.
okay, all right.
Yeah. All right, so that's my complaint about the financials, still not twice.
And we don't have the end of year statements yet, right?
No, he's gotta make some adjustments, we'll get on the
last
phone with
year.
him.
Yeah, those,
So-
you did get them. You got
We
them
got him at
last
the
meeting.
last meeting, but there
You
were,
got the June
But they were
30.
there
incomplete.
were
Incomplete, yeah.
questions
Well, there were
about that.
questions
Yeah.
that were raised, and
Mhm.
now he's answered some of them.
Some,
Okay.
we'll resolve that. All right, so. Any resident participation?
They're
No.
not.
So
They all
did-
told me,
Did we
not
accept
coming to
it?
this meeting.
We accept your report, right? We did
I
that.
think they already,
Yes.
you already voted
All
on
right,
it.
so
We're on the-
can I have a motion that we
So moved,
request the financial information from the fee account?
so moved.
Second.
Seconded by Lockwood, motion by Donna Bronk, all in favor. Powell-Laters, aye. Rudy, aye.
Lockwood, aye.
Aye.
Donahue, aye.
Wrong guy.
Okay.
Sounds
All
like-
right.
Sounds like a
Here
proceed.
is one, oh, can I just pass this
Go
out?
ahead, go ahead.
This is one more piece to add to last year's budget. I just got this too. This is just the operating reserves, what the comparison to last year.
I'm sorry. Yeah, and that figure ties into his, what did I do with my financial stuff? FY 14 ended with 26,395 in the black, which adds to our operating reserve, which is like a reserve for unforeseen, unexpected situations.
Not a
It's
chance.
for, other than
Do
ordinary
you have it?
operating maintenance,
5 years, point.
non-routine expenditures is what he says.
We get away with murder for less time than that.
Okay,
Look at that.
do we have any other business to bring before this body?
I have curiosity about the update of the IG
Oh,
issue.
any-
Do we have any
I have not heard
correspondence?
it, and I spoke with the IG, and he said, oh, we're working on it at the meeting, and that's all I got from him.
Okay,
There's been no correspondence from
They
him.
usually don't tell you.
Well, no, I just want to make sure that they had everything
Oh,
that
yeah.
we could possibly give them.
Yeah.
I
they
have
haven't
not
asked for any
heard
more
that.
stuff.
They have not asked for any more stuff.
Thank you.
I don't know why. Always is in situations like that, you get a stand in your head, get them everything they want, but they never tell you anything.
Oh, no,
Okay,
but
so-
that's how they work,
Yeah,
they
We
don't
have the
record.
yeah.
registration form for the NARO fall
conference.
conference.
Right,
Where is it going to be held?
It's
What is
not, I do believe it's in Plymouth.
It's not on here.
I know,
Yeah, well,
it's
that's
not
what
on
she
there.
also said, that they
Well,
don't have an.
They don't have an agenda
the
ready yet
agenda's not
either,
ready, I'm sure they'll
But they
spend
did
time
enough,
going over
but
the
if you go on the
laws.
NARO website, you can go to
Okay.
their little conference page.
right.
And I called her yesterday, because I knew that, I mean, and she just said, nope, we don't, I said, I just want to verify, you can't click on, they have the agenda, like a line item, you
Yeah.
click on it, can't click into it. She said, oh no, we haven't opened the portal yet, because they haven't decided we're waiting on a few things.
Do we have a what policy does this fall under? Probably falls under some committee that hasn't met yet, right?
What policy are we talking
The
about?
policy for the fees
Go.
for members,
Go.
for payment,
Going to conferences.
going to
Yeah, I
conferences.
think it's under
Do we have a budget?
121B, I think
Oh,
that's,
it's a.
Well, I'm sure that
It's
it's
an
an
allowable
expense that's
expense.
allowable. I wasn't asking about Mass General Law, I was asking about the Wareham Housing Authority's policy.
well,
if we
in
have
lieu
any.
of having a policy, we would refer to the law, but I do believe that there, you guys would probably vote in the policy.
I think it's in our draft policies, training, blah, blah, blah. This is, I can assure you, this particular conference will be, talk about the law, the new law that was passed.
Right, which you gave us a copy of,
Right,
thank you
yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it was very interesting, I find. We'll see how long it takes for them to get together to give us the training that we're supposed to have within 90 days of becoming a new member.
They told me
No,
that they
no,
would
that's
not be able to
after.
reenact these laws for a year and a half. They said,
And
don't
then
work
talks
for
about
Well,
training
I'll
for
still be
members.
here.
And they gave,
Members, the next time you get re-elected or reappointed. So it doesn't apply to those sitting members.
Oh, well, I'd like to have training.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
me too.
if you do, I'll send you to don't send you to this. This is,
very interesting.
this is more Schmieder, shadow type.
I
training.
also sent some copies of, I know we hate the dirt, we think it's a dirty word, contract, but I sent some sample copies of contracts between housing authorities and executive directors that have a little bit more meat on their bones than the one-line page that we have. And I would like that to come up under, at the next meeting as a business on the agenda to
I
talk
think I
about.
saw, I don't know if I saw those. Those are
I-
from other
I
authorities?
haven't seen them.
They were from the NARO handbook.
Yeah,
the Euro
well,
handbook?
they were,
Well, I don't care if they're good, bad, or
They
indifferent,
weren't
Bob.
good.
I want them
Right.
to be discussed, and I would
Right.
like to have an agreement that reflects all of that. As I've said, I think probably 2 or 3 times, something that protects Miss Hickey and something that protects the
Yeah.
housing authority,
Absolutely.
so that we have it in writing. And, you know, I mean, that's when you run into
COA.
problem, and that's where this authority,
COA.
previous
Right.
authority, ran into some problems, because there weren't things spelled out clearly, and I think that's what we
No,
always
there
have to
there
have.
were
But as I-
contracts there,
as I
very
said
clear
before-
contracts.
Well,
Very
nobody
clear
was
contracts.
enforcing them, were they?
Correct, well,
Okay, so if you don't
Yeah.
have a contract, then you have nothing to
right.
enforce.
But in this case,
So
as
I
I said
don't-
before at that time, chapter 29 does not contemplate a contract for the executive director. The reason contracts came into place is because directors got together and they forced it upon Narrow to go to DHCD to give us a contract, come up with a contract, and they come up with some, what I consider bad contracts. Number one, number two, they're not necessary. You have a job description, which
Which I don't have a copy of
we
still.
gave it out at
after
several
the-
meetings ago, a job description for her, in addition to that one page that says, we're hiring you at so much an hour,
I
and you
don't
get
have a
health
copy of
insurance.
either of those
Well,
things, I'm
we'll
sure.
take that out and
I
get
don't
you.
either.
I would
That's the
remember if I
key.
did,
Yeah, well, I
because
remember it,
it's been
I remember it, look in your
one of
file.
my things for a while.
I'll get it out.
I have it in my
We'll-
file, and I
We'll
can tell you
email it
it's
out
not
to you,
in
but
there.
that was given out with the one page, I don't.
You
I don't know.
handed it to somebody to read,
To
and
read
you
it,
took
and
it
that,
back.
you didn't, you
The
didn't.
job description?
Yes.
I-
No,
I
no,
read
no,
the
the contract.
contract.
I didn't see the job
I
description.
read the contract, there was a job description that
Well, let's
accompanied
just
it,
send
but
it out
anyway,
again.
to me,
We
that's
sent
the
it out
contract. Do your job, you get paid. You start getting into contracts that say, if we don't like you and we fire you, you get a severance package and all that. The law doesn't contemplate that. I don't wanna give somebody more than the law requires me to give.
I think
period.
that's something that we should take up
We should discuss.
as
All
an
right,
agenda
fine.
item. And please send us the information that you have with what we have currently have,
Yeah, I'll
please,
dig
thank
that
you.
out. I know it was kicked around, given up, but anyway, okay, so job description. All right, any further business?
No, so, just one last thing, you said that the Human Resource Committee did not meet on September 10th.
No.
And you guys have the personnel policy, right? As one of your policies. The Human Resource Committee has the personnel policy as one of your policies that you're
Oh,
working
tasks,
on.
yeah, right,
Right.
yeah. No, we haven't met. Rudy's been unavailable, I've been busy traveling and so forth. So anyway, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by, who made the motion?
Jane Donahue.
Donahue.
Donahue, seconded by Bronk. All in favor, Powell-Laters, Santos,
Lockwood, aye.
Lockwood,
Donahue, aye.
Okay.
aye. 500.
And the two things, pest management service agreement for,
What is this? This is just, pest control and stuff?
correct. And Pitney Bowes, no, an agreement for the machine, the postage machine,
Okay. You should have voted that.
should be there.
What?
The postage machine contract,
Renew the contract for the postage machine and to test what?
pest service agreement,
Pest
pest
Service agreement, yes, we should vote on that.
examination.
extermination.
I rescind my motion to adjourn.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, motion to
Second.
adjourn, seconded, all in favor?
Okay, you
Everyone's voting to
Rescind
re-adjourn.
that.
Who was second?
Going to
Unadjourn.
reconvene, we're gonna
Reconvene.
reconvene.
Or
What did I say?
unadjourned, whichever you prefer.
Unadjourn, what did I say,
First is
reconvene?
nominated, second by
All right,
the-
so
I think it's the same. Reconvene, better
Let's
word.
reconvene.
we should wrap this up in the report.
I thought you were just gonna have to sign them.
No.
I didn't,
Anyway, okay, we have two agreements here. One to renew with Pitney Bowes
Pitney Bowes, yep, postage
for
machine.
the amount of $26.79 a month. Do you think we should keep this? Apparently you do, because you presented.
I do, I mean, for now.
Do we
maybe
get the
next year.
one, do we get a 1 cent per letter?
Yes, we do.
Credit?
Yep, we
Which-
pay 48 cents for first degree leaf letter.
Okay, so that's one.
That's savings.
It does, especially when we're
So-
sending out hundreds of mailers.
How many mailings
I'm
do we
saying
do a
it's
week?
good.
Month, rather?
Well, yeah, enough to $26
All right,
worth,
so,
but
and we also have a pest management service
Okay.
agreement from,
The convenience though.
for carpenter ants, we have a huge problem due to the area we live in. In the unit, the agworm unit, pest amount was so horrific that meeting last year with the pest management folks, and he said we should do it twice a year. So each time they come, they have us sign that agreement.
but this is separate and apart from, what is the other company you had, Watchall?
That is Watch All.
Oh, it is Watchall.
But Ehrlich is their parent company.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Do you
sorry.
have other bids from other companies though too?
I do not at this point, but I will be pursuing that, because we had a bid last year for for 1 year with these guys, I mean, previous to me coming.
Yeah.
So I did this until, you know.
How much is it a monthly fee?
Oh, it's not, it's a one-time $700.50
$700 per initial service.
per,
Fee per initial service.
right, because it's
One
just a
time.
one-time, well, it was,
It's not bad for all buildings, I don't think.
Exterior spray all
And see what
buildings,
they're gonna
exterior
charge my
spray all
sister-in-law
buildings.
for her house. $300 for her house.
All right,
All
so
right, so we have these
We
two
have-
agreements.
5 buildings, so
their
it's
state contract person. I'm getting that
$250 a
amount.
building, basically.
Right, it's very cheap.
Okay. so-
Considering my sister-in-law's house was $300.
No,
for
it's
one
six,
house.
it's 110 per
Per
building.
unit, twice a year.
Oh,
Because
because
it's-
it's the community building.
Yes, the 5 buildings plus the community building.
Okay,
yeah, so
move
six
to pay,
Move to
Second.
accept the,
agreements with
Ants.
Pitney Bowes and Ehrlich Watchall. By Jane Donahue, second by Bill Lockwood. All in favor, Powell-Laters, aye.
Lockwood, aye.
Donahue, aye.
Bronk eye.
Rudy, aye. Okay, now we go back to
Motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn
Second,
by Donahue, second by Lockwood.
Whatever,
Fine.
All
sure.
right. All in favor, Powell-Laters,
I'll let you
aye.
have the glory.
oh, thanks, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Santos, aye.
Lockwood, aye.
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 Aye.